Yo, what is going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka the Clockmaster. I am joined with my friend Dylan. Say what's up, bro.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Cool, man. So, you guys should know him by now. We've already done so many videos together already, so you guys should know him. Yeah, we've done a lot, so you guys should know him by now. But if you don't know him, it's my friend here, and we're here to just talk about The Last Jedi. So before we get into that, man, this video is going to be long. I don't know how long it will be, but it's going to be long.
It is going to be really long.
Yes. It's going to be very long, really long, and a thing for me, I got to make a disclaimer, man. It's like this. If I like this movie, if I said I love this movie, I'm going to get dislikes. And if I said I hate this movie, I'm still going to get dislikes. So I can't please everybody. We can't please everybody. But what we're trying to do here is we're going to just try to just be real with our review, give our real honest opinions, talk about the positives and the negatives of this film, and just be 100% real with you guys and not sugarcoat anything. And just speak about it. So if you like our opinion, that's great. If you don't like it, that's also great. We can't please everybody. But if you're here and you're interested to see what we got to say, stick around for this video. And it will be spoiler filled. I have never been so conflicted about a film ever when it came to reviewing anything. I had to see 3 times before I came to something close to a conclusion. I'm still not even fully decided on how I feel about the movie as yet. So this movie is just it's a lot to talk about. So without further ado, man, we're just gonna start this, man. So before I go in and talk about my points, Dylan, this one word, describe Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
In one word.
Yes.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Honestly, it's all right. I'm very much the same way. I feel very conflicted about my feelings about this movie. But it is a good film. I guarantee. Here's the thing about me. I know everyone, their mothers will talk to death about how Empire is the best film in the entire Star Wars franchise, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel that way for reasons that are my own. I like New Hope better. But I do understand that it is the best one, or at least writing-wise. And I feel Last Jedi is, like a lot of people said, not to that level exactly, but pretty damn close.
To Empire?
To Empire, yeah. I'll give it that. Honestly, it's to an extent, but not as well as Empire.
I don't know,
everyone
man.
says, this is the next Empire, and it kind of is, I guess.
I don't want to say that. At least yet, for me. I don't want to say that, because the thing
I'm
is...
going off one watching, and I'm just...
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're basically my initial opinions on it. They're gonna change eventually once I watch the film more.
Yeah.
But still,
because I can tell y'all,
I can kind of see what
it's like. When I saw it the first time, I could easily tell you guys that, hey, Last Jedi is definitely comparable to Empire Strikes Back. I was 100% on that, but then after the second and the third viewing, I really paid attention to everything, and it's not. I mean, writing-wise, it can't be compared to Empire Strikes Back. Whether it's A New Hope or Empire, you can like either one. It's fine. Both stories are written very well. The thing is, The Last Jedi is not written very well. That's my issue. One thing I can tell you, in my opinion, one word to describe Last Jedi for me is disappointing. Disappointing.
Disappointing?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I said disappointing. If I were to choose one word, don't get me wrong. To get my this is what I wrote about my general thoughts. I basically said that Star Wars: The Last Jedi is very mediocre. It feels disconnected, feels empty. However, I didn't leave the theater hating this film. I don't hate the movie. It's still watchable. There are parts that I enjoy and parts that I hate, and we'll go over some of our opinions, what I liked, what he didn't like, what I didn't like. But I don't hate the movie. That's what I'm trying to say. I felt so conflicted, because it's like, I don't hate the movie, but I don't think it's the best Star Wars film I've seen. Especially when it comes to writing. It's like Empire, what Empire did. Empire showed, that was the climax movie for Luke Skywalker. And that movie was okay, in A New Hope, he just discovered something about himself and whatever, and then Empire Strikes Back is like, I'm struggling with this. I want to use the Force, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I can't. It's something holding me back. and he went to went to Dagobah, and then Yoda helped him out with that, and those are things, inner conflict he had, with his father and things like that. That's what he had. It was like a climax point for him. And Return of the Jedi is when he was now becoming who he is today. And that's the movie where he's like, okay, I've overcome my hate or my confusion about my father. Now I know who he is. Now I got to try to save him. So it was like, it kind of, if you look at Luke's story individually, it goes up from not really knowing anything about who he is to getting to a point where I know who I am now. This is me, and this is my destiny, and this is what I have to do. This is what I was born to do. If you were to say compared to compared to Last Jedi, I would say Rey may possibly have a similar storyline if you were to look at it that way. In Force Awakens, she doesn't know who she is. And then Last Jedi, she's kind of now, fighting with her past, trying to figure out who she is. And then hopefully in the next movie, she's at that Luke stage where she's like, okay, this is who I am now. So hopefully for Rey, that's what they do. But yeah, man, you started away with your things that you liked. Well, let's talk about positives first before negatives.
Oh, I was gonna say, since we're already on the topic of this film, like on paper, basically being Empire, I was just kind of gonna go down the list here.
Okay.
First things first, we got our main protagonist, Rey, in this case. They go to the old Jedi Master, who refused to train them at first, and then they experienced the temptation of the dark side. Them eventually to go off and save their friends.
Yep.
Han and Leia, or Finn and Rose, or Poe, or whatever. She's going off to save Kylo.
Yep.
Because that's who her main relationship in this movie is with. They talk to each other throughout the film, so she thinks she can save him, so she goes off to do so.
Yeah.
In this big confrontation with, Kylo at the end, after the fight with Snoke, you basically have a huge revelation. The big baddie says, oh, your family is, not exactly who you thought they were.
Yeah, they're nothing.
Tells the audience that, Luke is his son, and Kylo tells Rey that her parents are junkers. They're worthless. They're garbage. They are non-consequential. It's not like she has this huge lineage behind her, like the Skywalkers. Her origin story. And I kind of really like that idea, because first off, like, it makes it feel like her accomplishments are her own, and it doesn't add to like this legacy.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, the Skywalkers have done so much for the galaxy. Like, Rey has done this. This is what Rey does. This is how she does it. These are her accomplishments. Like,
Yeah, I like to look at it. Not you mention that. Like, I like to look at it. When I was telling people, is that Rey is the new Anakin. Because if you look at Anakin's parents, what happened?
I actually have something to that note later down the line.
I kind of compared it to Rey being, because I don't know too much about. I know about Anakin's mom, and I know that she wasn't really that much of like a big importance into the galaxy or anything like that. I know he came from a very poor family. But the thing is, Anakin, he was the first, like I would say, the first Skywalker to mean anything, and
pretty much, yeah.
And he made a name. He's the one that made a name for the Skywalker bloodline and the name in general. And then of course you have Luke, you have Leia, you have of course Ben Solo now. You know what I'm saying? So you have
in extended universe you have Jason and Jaina and Anakin, and you have all these different, and it just goes on from there. Cade Skywalker, Cole Skywalker, like, and that's why I would say like Rey is kind of like, she's kind of like the Anakin of the new trilogy. Yeah.
That's how I would say.
She's starting it off by herself. Like, it's just her. It's her story.
Yeah. And
the Skywalker story is still there, but this is about Rey, I get that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll get to my issues about the whole Rey thing later on. But yeah, man, before we get too Debbie Downer on the film, let's talk about the cool stuff first, man. Let's just talk about the cool stuff. Let's talk about the stuff we liked. So, you can go ahead and start with the stuff that you liked about the film, and then we can go from there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Yoda comes back, and honestly, like, it's one of the first times I think I genuinely liked Yoda right off the bat, you know? Like, I didn't grow to like it like I do with the rest of Yoda's appearances.
Mm-hmm.
I just genuinely liked it immediately. I saw it and I was like, oh, expect this to happen. And then when it did, I loved it.
Yeah.
And other than that, I'd have to say some of the action scenes were pretty good, especially the opening one was really,
My favorite.
it really reminded me of Rogue One, honestly. It got me into the film. It's like, oh, there are stakes. Like, people are actually dying. We get to see this. Like, this is war.
Yeah. That was really crazy.
That honestly, it drew me into the film. Like, you add a little bit of humor in there, but then you close it off with tragedy, and that works.
Yes.
You know?
And anything
And
else?
also-
Anything else you had?
Just the performances, and I guess the battle between Kylo and Rey with the Praetorian guards.
Yes. I
That
liked it, but I had one issue, but I still liked it.
I honestly, like, I can't find a thing I didn't like about that whole scene. Like, Snoke narrating his like own death. Like, that's pretty creative for a film. Like,
that
honestly,
part, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I probably want to see more of Snoke, you know, because they built him up as being this big mysterious force. And I was thinking throughout that scene, like, man, how are they gonna beat him in the next movie? And they kill him in this one. I was like, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I guess we're going that way.
That's all my big negatives, so I'll get to that. But
Yeah.
let's for me, now that you mentioned like the fighting scenes, one of my favorite parts was Poe in the very beginning with the X-wing and how he was taunting General Hux and was like, I'm waiting for Hux. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm tooling about his mother.
Can you guys hear me?
Can you guys hear me? And he's like, can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I thought that was funny, but what I liked was that was like, I would probably say Poe's a damn good pilot. He is so awesome. Like,
they actually use space, and it's not just a line. Like,
yeah.
He turns around on them and goes from behind them.
When I saw that, I was like, that is so dope. Every time I see it, I get chills.
And goes right behind them and takes them out. Like, that's one thing. That's one thing that was really cool, and then I was immediately disappointed by, like, right afterwards, because you think about it and they're like, oh wow, they're finally using space in like a 3-dimensional way. Like, he can go anywhere. He can go from any direction, and then like the entire movie is a chase scene where they're literally just going in a straight line. You have the Death Star, or not the Death Star, the Star Destroyer is right behind the Rebels. They're just going in a straight line. Like, if you really thought about it, what you could have done, if you're the First Order, like, have your smaller Star Destroyers like jump somewhere else, and then turn around, like do a U-turn, and then jump right in front of the Rebel ships and just sandwich them between the big ship and the little ones.
Right.
And then they're done. Like,
but then that wouldn't make good. There would be no more story.
I know.
You know.
It's like
another thing too, like that I like that you did mention earlier too was the demonstration of the loss of the Resistance fighters, because because before like if you watch any other previous Star Wars film, you would see like a whole bunch of X-wings get destroyed, but then you're like okay, cool, yeah, there's like so many more Resistance fighters, like who cares?
Short, like, how long did we spend with Rose's sister? Maybe like a minute 30.
Oh my god, that was so sad.
Get to know that character. I'm like, wow, I wish this movie was about her. Like, that's awesome. And then you get to meet her sister, and I was like, oh, cool. So we're actually continuing on with this. We'll get to find out who she is. That was really well done.
Yeah,
and I was like, that right on, Star Wars. Yeah, like,
yeah, I like that scene because it really just demonstrated, and you can see that Leia's character is just done with the losses. I remember just her looking at the screen and seeing all the ships just destroyed, and she's just like, wow.
It's like, oh. One thing that was honestly kind of confusing to me, or not confusing, kind of irked me a little bit. You put a number on the Resistance, 100 people left.
Yeah, 400 people
on all 3 ships, and it's like, that's it, really? Like,
yeah.
how is it the Resistance? Like they were, unlike the First Order, they had some backing by the New Republic, the government. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like they had some backing. It wasn't outright, but it was like under the table.
Yeah.
So like, why don't we get to see? Like, why would they have all their forces on one base? Like honestly,
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
like we are friends in the Outer Rim, but like in one place during the Galactic Civil War, which is basically the war from like the original trilogy. It's not everyone's not on like Hoth when it gets attacked, you know?
Yeah.
That's like one group of the rebels. That's just the group we're following right now. Like in this, they literally established like by the end of it, there's like 20 people left.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're writing yourself into a corner. Because apparently you guys don't like time jumps, so if you don't do a time jump, you're gonna have 20 people on the Millennium Falcon.
Wait,
like,
let's save it for the save it for the negatives. Let's save
Dude.
it for let's save it for the negatives. Wait. Let's talk about the good stuff. Wait. What did you think about Finn and Rose? Did you like them or no? I liked
I
them.
like their characters. I really like their characters. But I think honestly, like some of the stuff that like their side mission was so pointless.
Wait. We'll talk about it later. Wait. I liked Finn and Rose. I liked Finn and Rose. I liked them.
That's the thing about this movie, man. Like, I like these things, but then I think about it, I'm like, crap, I don't like these things.
Exactly.
Like
That's what I'm trying to say. It's so conflicting. But
the cool action figures, but I'm like, I don't know what the hell to do with these. Like, they fight maybe. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, look, I liked Finn and Rose. I liked their chemistry together because I think that they're characters that both stem from, you know, a similar path. I guess.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're both, you know, searching for, I guess,
a better life.
Or, you know, I wouldn't say recognition because Finn was on suicide mission. Like he was about to kill himself, so he didn't even care.
Rose is had found a better life.
Yeah,
and Finn is still looking for one, and I think that's kind of where
Finn is starting to trying to create a life for himself.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to find his place because you think about it, like. How long was Finn really
a regular person? Yeah.
No, like since he was in the First Order, because Force Awakens only takes place over a couple days, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Last Jedi only takes place over like hours.
Yeah, a couple hours maybe.
Uh,
yeah. Actually, no. I wouldn't say a couple hours because you remember when Rey was on what was the name of the island that she was on with Luke again?
Who?
Actu, right? Yeah, when she was with him on there, it was at least 2 or 3 days did go by.
Yeah, but then again, it's also a different star system, so it could be a smaller star and less planets, so days could be shorter.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. I didn't like honestly, the one thing that really, like, it kind of throws off the film. It's kind of a plot hole. Like, don't put a timer on your film, first of all. That's just dumb. Don't be like, we have this long before we run out of fuel. Just say, we don't have a lot of fuel left. Be non-specific, because if you are, then you kind of you're beholden to those rules.
Wait, negatives. Wait, let's wait for negatives.
No, I'm doing this now. In Empire, at the very least, we don't learn how many damn days Luke is on Dagobah. Could have been like a week, I guess.
That's true.
Like but like in this, Rey's on there for maybe like what, like she has a little bit on the Resistance, but still, like, come on. And when you think about it, Finn has been out of the Resistance for like a week now.
Yeah,
like,
exactly, right? Yeah.
Make it up so it's like, oh, like Finn is hurt, like he's really badly hurt. He has the giant lightsaber slash across his back and the thing in his shoulder. We'll stick him in a back to suit and he'll heal, you know? Like there's barely a life sign. Like we gotta get him in there quick.
What would have been cool is if they actually highlighted that injury and actually showed it.
Think about it, and guess what? He's only been in that damn back to suit for like 5 hours. They got back and then they left. Like what?
Mm-hmm. Huh.
Like it. You don't do that to your film. You don't put a timer on your film unless you're gonna stay beholden to those rules.
Hey,
it doesn't work.
He did direct Looper, so Another positive I had. Luke's forced teleportation towards the end of the film. I thought that was really cool. I freak out every time I see it. I like that part. I really do love that part so much.
You mean the projection?
The projection, yes. I like to call it the forced teleportation thingy.
Oh, I didn't catch. Yeah, I think it's actually like an illusion, is what it is.
Maybe, yeah. Whatever it was dope.
Because he had different area, Anakin's lightsaber, which was broken. Like, that was the one thing that tipped me off to it. It was like I'm fine with him changing his hair. He could have done that before he left.
Yeah.
But like, he had the lightsaber. That thing was just broken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't on Snoke's ship. So is it fake? Oh, he also is not hitting anyone. I guess it's fake. Like.
And that's where I guess it was cool, but I guess that's where the plot hole is too, because it's like Kylo Ren literally just saw that saber break. So it's like, wait a minute.
No, it's not a plot hole. It's telling the audience. It's foreshadowing. It's telling the audience.
It could be, but here's why I say it's a bad thing. It's because it's like common sense would tell you in Kylo Ren's position, like, wait a minute, I literally just broke this saber with Rey. How does he have it?
He's angry, and
they could have gave him his green saber. It would have been better. If they gave him the green saber that he had in return, that would have been better.
I like more of the green one because I like the green one better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think honestly, the only reason they did it is like, hey, Luke looks different because he's not really there, and Kylo Ren doesn't really know what he looks like. So
yeah, it's
just to tell the audience like, not everything's what it seems.
This isn't going to go the way that you think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Another thing too.
About that Carrie moment though.
Which one? Yeah, the Carrie Fisher moment.
The near-death one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to talk about. When she used the Force, I get chills.
I got chills. I almost started tearing up.
Me too.
Like, holy shit.
Me too.
Excuse my language, but like, holy God, that was a beautiful scene. I find nothing wrong with that entire sequence.
Nothing.
Except the fact that they kind of just like, oh, Admiral Akbar's dead. Like, sat under the rug. Like,
when they said that, I was like, wait a minute. We just going to ignore the fact that Admiral Akbar is dead? We just going to pass that? Like, that didn't just happen?
Our greatest tactical mind. You know, the guy who literally, like, helped win the the battle against the second Death Star. Like, he's dead. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, he helped. Like, I mean, it's not like he intercepted the Death Star plans during Rogue One. Like, that didn't happen at all. Like, this guy didn't benefit to anything at all.
At the very least, like, you know, maybe showing him in space while Leia was floating out there. You know, his body. Give us a little bit of closure. Not like, oh, he just died. Like, you didn't really see it. I mean, I guess you saw the thing like get sucked into space, but you didn't really see it. It doesn't. Like, come on, like, do something to like. That's a major character.
He's a war. He's a war hero.
The war hero. He's been fighting damn wars since the Clone Wars. Man.
Exactly.
Like, he's in that TV show.
They're like, hey man, Admiral Akbar is dead. Let's just forget that even happened. Okay, cool. So I'm in charge now. Like, wait, what?
Yo, what happened to freaking Nien Nunb, the Lando's co-pilot on the Millennium Falcon?
You're right. Yeah, he was just chilling in the back
after the beginning. I didn't see him die. And then all of a sudden, he never shows up in the film again.
Yeah.
Unless we see him at the end, and I just missed it. But like another war hero.
You're talking about his co-pilot during Empire.
Yeah, when he's flying the Falcon.
I mean, Return of the Jedi.
Force Awakens for a pretty big part of it. He was like, and then you just brush that guy away too. You don't even mention him by name.
He was there. Like, he was there in Last Jedi. He was there.
He was, but then we don't see him again. Like, we don't see him die.
Yeah, we only see him standing like right next behind Poe. That's it.
Yeah.
He was just standing behind Poe, and that was it, and he's gone.
Yeah. So what's with that?
That's what I was trying to tell you earlier. It's like, I think they're just slowly trying to write off all these characters, dude. Like,
yeah, I get it. It's supposed to be the new character stories, but then why bring back the old characters if you're not going to do that?
If you're not going to give them an honorable exit,
or even just if you're not going to use them, don't bring them back.
Yeah.
You didn't want to bring back Akbar. You didn't have to bring him back in the last film or this one. You didn't want to bring back Nien Nunb. You don't have to bring him back in this film or the last one. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's your choice to do it 30 years after and have all these characters still be alive.
Yep.
Who are writing it, like, do something with the characters. Don't just let them like go quiet into that good night. You know, like
Yeah.
it's weird.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know,
give.
but
I'm
honestly,
gonna give one more good. I'm gonna give 2 more good points, and then we can just go all in for the rant. Okay. We can just get 2 more good points, guys, and then we're gonna just
like this
rant.
film, but, like,
Yeah, I like
still,
this
I can
film,
rant
but
about-
I like this film, but I want to rant about certain things that I felt could have been better. Trust me, I'm seeing it again this weekend with my cousin, so I'm gonna be seeing it again for the 4th time. So I would not be watching it again if I didn't want to. Like, I can easily just be like, "Yo, bro, you can go by yourself," but like, I want to watch it again. Like, I don't mind watching it. You know?
yeah,
That's
I like
my
the
thing.
film. I like it the more I think about it. It's just that first time initially like kicked me in the gut.
Yeah, look, people. Don't get me wrong, man. People think it's impossible to criticize in film and like it, but I beg to differ. I think,
Yeah, I can
think
criticize the shit out of the original Star Wars, but it's still my favorite film ever.
Yeah, yo, I think
There's a
I
difference
think I had a
between-
conversation with somebody where I completely destroyed A New Hope, but I still loved the hell out of it, man. Come on, man.
It's still my favorite film ever, but I can tear it apart if you really want me to.
If you really want me to.
yes, criticizing something is not hating it. And that's what
Exactly.
people, especially now on like Twitter when they're talking about The Last Jedi and like pretty much all social media, YouTube, Facebook, whatever,
Yep.
seem to understand. You either you're one way or the other, you know? You either like it or you hate it. And if you
Mhm.
like it, you're wrong. If you hate it, you're wrong. It's
Yeah.
That's not the way the world works. You can like something and criticize something. There's a difference.
Yes, and you're allowed to like whatever you like.
Exactly.
And you can't hate somebody for liking the movie, man. If they like the movie, that's fine with them. It's something in there for them. If they don't like it, then that's fine too. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't like it, respect the ones that do like it. That's all I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? So
I might not like Empire as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
shit on him for it.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? My thing. A lot of people don't like Attack of the Clones, and I actually really do.
It's my favorite one of the prequels.
There you go. You see? You see? There
I
you
don't
go.
like
But I think the one that I think the
Because
one
that
movie we
film-
can all agree on that we just don't talk about is Phantom Menace.
I kind of like that one better than Revenge
you-
of the Sith, honestly.
Oh, you like that? Oh, really?
Yeah, mainly because of the practical effects.
Got you. Okay,
Mainly.
I got you.
And the use of real set. I like the way the film is shot
Okay.
better, honestly.
The only one thing I like is Darth Maul, man. That's about it.
Oh, Darth Maul's so cool in the Clone Wars show, man. I can go on a rant about that.
Nah,
No, he's-
Revenge of the Sith is probably my favorite Star Wars film of all time, mainly for 2 reasons. Like, I think I told you this already. Mainly because it was the first Star Wars film I've ever seen in my life. And 2, because look, anything that's the first thing that you've seen may most likely be your favorite thing, if you like
Yep.
it. You know,
That
for me,
was
like,
the first movie I can remember watching. That's why I love it so much.
yeah, I love Revenge of the Sith a lot, and even rewatching it again this week or last week, I loved it even more. So I personally like it more than Last Jedi. That's just me though. That's just me. But but yeah, another thing I really liked too was I did like how the scene where the carrier going through the destroyers at light speed. I loved that scene.
Yeah. I was honestly
It
like...
was so satisfying to watch, and then
It
everything just goes.
reminded me of
Everything just
Rogue
goes
One.
silent.
badass. That was amazing.
Right?
That was honestly one of the coolest things they've done in Star Wars. Like, just straight out cool. Like, in a film. Even in the cartoons, like, that was just one of the coolest things that they've just done, period. And it's like, wow, okay. That was really awesome. I got a problem with it, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not necessarily that. It's what leads up to it. And here's the thing about... Here's my big issue with this film. Above... It's paced very oddly.
Oh,
It is really paced
yes.
oddly. And
Oh,
what
yes.
I mean by
Oh,
that
yes.
is, I mean, specifically, this isn't necessarily pacing, but whenever a character isn't on camera, it feels like they're not doing anything.
and like they're not there.
Because it really doesn't. Like, it doesn't, especially in the fight scenes, especially in the battle scenes. This is where it's the most prevalent. Specifically, like the Battle of Crate, right? We have the Millennium Falcon come in, you know, they lure the ships away, the TIE fighters. Yeah, that sequence where they're in the cave, they're going basically through the tunnels of Crate, right?
Yeah.
And they lose all the TIE fighters. They break out. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The battle's still raging on, and they're not getting chased by any other ships. What happened to the Millennium Falcon? What are they doing? Where's Rey and Chewbacca? And the stupid Porg?
Don't call the Porg
like,
stupid. That's the one thing we leave. That's the one thing we leave alone in this film is the Porgs.
Really
the Porgs are safe. They're safe of our judgment.
I actually really enjoyed the Porgs more than I thought I would.
I love the Porgs, man. I want one so bad.
Where did they go? What happened to them? And here's the thing. You have the scene prior to the Battle of Crate where Admiral Holdo, she's like, you guys got to evacuate. It's right after the mutiny, which happens for no reason whatsoever because if there wasn't conflict on the ship, the film would be a lot more boring.
Yeah.
It's the only reason there's conflict. You're on the same side. You don't like that she's not risking the lives of her people.
Right?
All right, Poe. You're like, what are you doing? That's not your character. That makes no sense. You just didn't have any conflict on the ship because it's a slow chase through space. Fighting, Poe's knocked the hell out. Leia gets him on the ship. They leave. All the ships are going to Crate. And Admiral Holdo's like, well, I gotta lead them away. And then immediately the First Order starts opening fire on these transport ships, which have no shields, so they start blowing up. We're just seeing, we're cutting back between with Snoke and the transports getting destroyed, but you don't see Holdo doing anything. She's clearly not still leading them away because they're focusing on the transport ships. So what is she doing? Essentially, while people are dying, like, what could you be doing in that time? You could maneuver your ship to block the path of the incoming fire at the transport. You could use the hyperspace thing. Could even just ram the ship. You could do a million things. Open up all your batters onto the First Order ships. You have control of a giant capital ship, and you're just sitting there doing nothing. It's not due to like user error, like, oh, our shields are malfunctioning, like, oh, like our stuff is going on, or like people are dying on the bridge or something and they can't do their jobs. It's just you. Like it's just one person and they're doing nothing and ships are dying and people are dying. Like, and in the film it's shot so like she's just standing there looking at the window like, hey, look, there go our guys. Fireworks, I guess. Huh. Those things and they're just exploding. Wow. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I do agree. She could have used a carrier. She could have definitely used a carrier as a shield because it has a legit shield on it.
You have control over the shields. You're not leading them away anymore, and you haven't developed your plan yet. Or if you have, you haven't enacted it. Like, do something. That's the thing that I find the most wrong with this film is in every other Star Wars film, and like Rogue One specifically, like, you see our characters, they're all doing something every single time. Even if you're not seeing them, you assume like they set it up like, oh, Bodhi is trying to get the thing to send up the message to space. Chirrut and Baze have to go and activate the thing. And
Jin.
Oh my god, Jin. They're going to get the plans.
Yeah.
Like everyone's doing something, and the ships up top are fighting, and the people on the ground are fighting. Like, everyone is doing something. You don't have this giant thing just sitting there for them to be on camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the same thing in the Battle of Crate. You don't see the entire battle. You don't see, except for the very beginning where the guy's like, hey, this is assault. Like, let me lick the freaking ground.
I call him the fake Bruce Willis lookalike. Like, this guy.
The only reason that shot is in the film is to show you, like, hey, look, it's Gareth Edwards, the director of Rogue One. Here he is.
Oh, speaking of Easter eggs, right? One thing, did you know how I found this out last night reading an article. I was kind of upset that the most iconic line in the Star Wars franchise was not said, and then I realized it was.
Yeah.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah,
and cool. I realized that BB-8 actually said it.
Cool. look for that the next time I see it. But anyways, like the entire time during the Battle of Crate, like if you compare it to the Battle of Hoth, which it essentially is, we have two Battle of Hoths right now.
Yeah.
Like we have the ground battle, which takes place at the end instead of the beginning, and then leads to the evacuation. We have the evacuation at the beginning this time. So in the ground battle, you see intercuts. Even though we have the speeders, attacking the AT-AT walkers, we have the people evacuating in the base. We still see people, rebels, fighting, shooting on the ground. There are always cuts and shots of interspliced throughout the action to show you that things are still happening on the ground. They're dying, they're losing, but hey, you get to see it, so something's happening, as well as showing our Luke and the speeders going after the walkers, and Han and Leia, packing up and getting the hell out of there.
Yeah.
In this, you just see the speeders until Luke shows up. So you see the speeders, and the Millennium Falcon shows up, they go away, and you show, and then Luke shows up. You don't see the people fighting on the ground. Why are they even in the trench at that point? You might as well just have all the speeders out there and everyone else in the base.
Yeah, save more people.
Then everyone wouldn't die. They just die off screen.
Right?
What's the point of that? It's
Makes no
because
sense.
you couldn't fit everyone onto the Millennium Falcon. That's why. What happens to the transport ships? Like, the ones that got there, what happened to them?
They're just gone. Where did they park those things?
It doesn't make sense. None of these characters are doing anything except when they're on camera. Except
Right?
probably the speeders. Like, it.
All right.
And
Well,
even
since we're starting to talk about negatives, it's time to rant, guys. Okay, prepare yourself, man. Let me start with what I got. Rey being a skilled Force user and fighting with zero training. I have a major issue with that.
Why? Okay, here. Let me preface this first.
I will tell you why. I will tell you why. Reason?
Or two things.
Okay.
One, Luke is the exact same way.
Who? Luke?
Yeah, Luke. Exact same way.
No, he was not.
Yeah.
No, he was not.
Yeah, no,
I can tell you why. And you can concur if you feel, but I'll tell you why I would say no. Why I would say no. Specifically, you go to
All right.
A New Hope,
Actually,
right?
no, I take it back. I take it back because there's a big time jump.
There is a huge time jump, and also though, you go back to A New Hope, right? Even though it was a minor thing, when they were on the Millennium Falcon and Obi-Wan was teaching him how to use the Force to deflect laser blasts with the lightsabers. It was a minor thing, but it was a key moment because that was the point where Obi-Wan started to actually show him how to use the Force and how to use a lightsaber. Okay?
Yes, but then
it was a minor thing.
All that much with it.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. It's a minor thing, but it adds up. It all adds up. And then when you go to Empire Strikes Back, where he was on Dagobah, okay, he was going through vines and training with Yoda on his back doing flips. Yoda's showing him how to use the Force. Yoda's trying to, bring in the best out of him. Yoda's teaching him. So Yoda was one-on-one teaching this guy. A lot of the training we didn't see, but we knew that Yoda was teaching him. Yeah, right? Okay. Yoda was teaching this guy. And then when he leaves...
Two things, though.
Yeah.
Two things. First off, like Rey using a lightsaber isn't like a precedent that we've already seen. We've seen her use the staff. She's been using the staff since she was a kid, basically, to defend herself. I can tell you one thing from doing Kung Fu. After using training with a staff and then moving on to swords, it was a lot easier having been able to use the staff first. Yeah. It does translate. That really does help.
No, yes, I know. Because look, the reason why I say I'm kind of like this with it, you can't like halfway with it, is because I am a trained fighter myself. So it's like I do, because Rey had to fend for herself. She's good with that staff. We've already seen her use it when she was on Jakku. We've already seen her fight, so we know she can fight. Nothing's wrong with that. I'm not trying to say that Rey can't fight or she doesn't deserve to be powerful. My thing is with her. Well, she was kind of ahead of Luke when it came to actual fighting skills, because Luke had to be trained by Yoda and by Obi-Wan how to fight. Rey already knew how to fight, so she was a fighter. So I do get the point of her wielding a lightsaber. To her, it's just another weapon she's using, right? It's just like another weapon. That is fine. That thing is fine. But my thing is with her just being so skilled in certain things
using the Force.
by using the Force, and because she uses the Force to aid her fight, and that's something that Luke had to learn how to do properly. Yeah, nothing's wrong with her. Nothing's wrong with her. Just like, because here's my thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, she's like the new Anakin. Anakin, by the time he was in Attack of the Clones, by the time he was with Obi-Wan, he was already better than him at that point. All right, he was already. He was already. Even Obi-Wan said that though. Obi-Wan, the whole Jedi Council was like, Anakin is like a strongest Jedi we have right now. It's just that his arrogance and his stubbornness make him weak. But physically, with the Force, Anakin was stronger than Obi-Wan. It's just that his arrogance and his arrogance is what led him to Obi-Wan defeating him when he was in Revenge of the Sith, because he was just too arrogant. Yeah. But he was stronger. Physically, he was stronger. And that's what I'm trying to get at. It's like, it's like a okay. It's like, the more I think of it, and I try to put, and I try to really, and I'm talking to you, I'm talking to other people. It's like, my hate for Rey not getting properly trained kind of goes away a little bit, because I can kind of put piece together and see it. But it's just like, I still just wanted some type. I mean, yeah, she got 3 lessons from Luke.
Here's the other thing, Matthew. The Force is, think of it like this, right? The Force is essentially kind of like Spider-Man's Spidey sense, right?
Yeah.
It warns you when something is going to happen, or it tries to. It's all about interpretation, It really is. Like, when Spider-Man got his powers, like, did he know how to fight? But no, like, he's out there kicking ass the next day.
Yeah.
Rey has felt this, like, she has felt this kind of in the back of her mind for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
Always been there. It's just the first time I don't know how to use it, or I don't know how to use it properly. And that's the thing, like, raw power, it does kind of translate to skill in some way.
Yeah, and
like, gives you a bit of an advantage.
Before you continue, like one thing I forgot to, I was telling someone last night when we came back from watching it again, is like, the only way I can actually accept this and be okay with it is just by saying Rey is just a natural. She's a prodigy. When someone's a prodigy and someone is just a natural, things just happen. It just happens naturally to them, and that's the only way I can actually accept it. I can be like, okay, she's a prodigy. She's just gifted, and I'm okay with that.
Because, like, here's the thing: you have Rey, and in this film, they acknowledge, like, she's kind of felt this here the entire time. With Luke, you never had that.
Yeah.
Picked up a lightsaber and Obi-Wan started teaching him. He had no idea about any of this stuff. Mm-hmm. He didn't even realize, like, he might have been using the Force subconsciously, like flying Beggar's Canyon, threading the needle in his 16. He didn't realize it. Rey did. Rey she understood there was something there.
Yeah.
She like tried to hide it or like push it away, but it was always there. It was always present, and she realized it. Luke didn't. And I think that's why Rey has the advantage over Luke. Not just the raw power, but just the realization, like, ignorant in that way, like,
yeah,
she knew it was there. She had the upper hand in that sense, I think. And that's why I'm kind of okay with it. Because they, like, in the last film, like, okay, like, the Jedi mind trick thing was kind of like, that was kind of dumb. Like,
yeah, the whole Jedi mind, the whole Jedi mind trick thing is kind of what got me pissed off.
Exactly. That's the one thing that's like, okay, I'm cool with her using a lightsaber. I'm cool with her resisting Kylo Ren. Like, those are things I understand. The Jedi mind trick thing was like in this film, they're like, it's always been there. And it's like, oh, okay, you established that fact? No.
Right?
The Jedi mind trick thing is still like, whatever. It's in one movie, a movie that, like, Kylo's scar gets moved like 3 inches. So it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
That film is just a stepping off point, much like the way New Hope was, like, translated to Empire and beyond. So it's fine. Like, it's a lack of continuity, I guess, and people really have to work for that. But I doubt by the time they finished or they were done writing Force Awakens, they had already started Last Jedi. So
they did. I mean, I remember watching behind the scene things as soon as when they were on I keep forgetting the island. Actu. Oh, dang it. All these names kind of confuse me sometimes. Yeah. When they were there, I remember seeing the behind the scenes. They were like, okay, good. Last Jedi. Time to start filming. Let's go. You know. But Dylan. My thing is, bro. It's like this, man. The thing with the original trilogy is that A New Hope is the one that kickstarted things off, and every movie is supposed to build and get better, right?
Yeah, I think this
My
film
thing,
kind of does.
I don't know. Look, this is just my opinion, bro. But I don't think it did that.
I think it does. Here's why. Because, if we're going ahead and like comparing these to the original trilogy, Force Awakens is very much a trilogy, right?
Well, yeah.
And I'd say Last Jedi is both Empire and Return of the Jedi.
It is Empire and
Because
Return of the Jedi.
It takes Empire and it expands on the ideas, and it does flip a couple twists on you by the end of it. You know, like one of my big problems with this film was the introduction of DJ, you know, Benicio del Toro's character.
Yeah.
Basically Rose and Finn go on this journey because the First Order can track them through hyperspace. They go on this pointless journey to a, really rich, kind of outlandish world.
Canto Bite,
yeah. It's basically Bespin. They're going there to meet like this sleazy con man dude who's basically Lando. Except here's the thing: don't get a redemption arc with this character, and that's the only reason I'm okay with it. Because this whole pointless story, it leads to nowhere. It literally leads to nowhere. They don't get to do the thing, and then guess what? It doesn't matter because Admiral Holdo just shoots her stupid ship into
right through. Exactly. They just did all that for no reason.
The only reason we have this story arc is A, to introduce Finn and Rose as possibly having a relationship and to establish their friendship. And to also, that's it.
Yeah.
Those are the only two things that we get out of it.
Del Toro's character, he wasn't the one that they were supposed to meet initially.
No, I don't think he was.
No, the one that they were supposed to meet, the one with the red plum bloom, that guy, he was the one that they were supposed to meet originally, but they didn't get to him.
Where that's the thing, like that entire side plot, like, it's to me the worst part of the movie, and it sucks because it's the characters that I think I like the best. I think their pairing is the best.
Yeah, the scene. Look, the scene sucked. The whole storyline sucked. But I love Rose and Finn.
It's on point. I really like those characters. Like, I wish they didn't go the way of like, will they, won't they? Because Star Wars always needs a love triangle for some reason. Even if you introduce it in the last film, like, why are you here with her, Obi-Wan? Like, shut up, Anakin. Like that,
right? And then you have Han, and you have Han when they were on what was the planet again? With the Ewoks.
Oh, and then there's that tension there. Star Wars is all about love triangles. And
Han was like, oh, who you can trust? You can trust Luke. Can you trust him?
Three things. Like, I love Luke, but as a brother, he's like, sense now.
He's like, oh.
Either way, Star Wars is always about love triangle, so we always got to introduce that love triangle. The only difference this time is instead of a female being at the center of it, it's a male.
Yes.
Which I'm cool with. It's a cool flip on the traditional thing,
Yeah. It's like Rose Rose obviously likes Finn, and I feel Rey likes Finn as well.
Yeah, and I think the twist is going to end up being, instead of Rose and Finn get together, kind of like Han and Leia got together, where in the first film, they introduced okay, let me break it down for you. Films. They introduced these two characters, male and female, and they kind of try to establish a relationship between them, being Finn and Rey and Luke and Leia. Then the second film, we kind of ditched that a little bit. It's still there in the background, but not really.
Yeah.
And we're mainly focusing our two love interests go on their own side quest to meet the sleazy guy, and then they get betrayed. It's the same film. But and then they basically have a moment at the end where one of them sacrifices for the other, and they are therefore incapacitated, and possibly through to the next movie.
Yeah.
And in the third film, these two characters are the ones that are going to end up together. But I think that's where they're going to flip the switch on us. It's going to be like Han and Leia. It's going to be kind of I think Finn and Rose are going to end up like Luke and Leia.
Yeah.
Like,
My thing,
I don't really.
but you know
like,
what's going on.
I
You know
know
what's going on right now, though. There's a big fanship right now between for Reylo, for Kylo Ren and Rey. Everyone thinks that they're gonna get together, and I don't think so.
It's been like that for the last 2 years, and I think no.
I
That's
hope
another
they
twist
don't
I think
do
they're
it. I
gonna
hope
pull.
they
But
don't do it.
I hope they don't either.
I
think
feel like they
basically
will, but I don't want them to.
No, I don't think they will. I don't think they will.
Imagine how strong their babies would be, though.
No, I don't think they will. I think, that's another twist they do. He's gonna tell Rose like, "I don't like you that way. I'm sorry. I just see you as a friend." And then him and Rey are gonna get together. But anyways, as for the Kylo Ren and Rey thing, they basically do the same thing with Darth Vader and Luke. You know?
Yes.
Where it's like, save you. I have to save you. Like, I still see good in you. And then the end of the fight with Snoke, Kylo Ren doesn't turn good.
Nope.
I think that's where it's gonna. I think that's where it's gonna stay. I think the next film I think her journey goes from like Luke. It's like you said earlier. Like he discovers his powers. He gets the mentor. He discovers the big thing about his past, and like I have to save this person. I think we've already gone through that. I think her arc is going to go from I have to save this person. I discovered my thing. No more. I have to kill him.
That's
it. Yes, to God. There's no saving him. He's past the point of saving.
Man,
I think that's another,
imagine you kill Ben Solo, and he's possibly the last Skywalker in this story. Right?
Oh well, that's where the Skywalker story ends. Then
yeah, if that's what they do.
I'm fine with that.
My thing is to let me go through my list and see if it's something we didn't talk about yet. We gotta talk about. Well, okay. Let me just address this thing about Rey because I actually wanted to save it for my things that needed to be explained and possible future outcomes. So I'll probably save it for that. But what I want to say is, okay, we gotta talk about Snoke, man. We gotta talk about what happened. I'm really upset. I'm really upset that they set him up to be this, and it was so cool how he was just tossing Rey around and like he was at that point more intimidating than Sidious, like power wise, and like he was just more powerful.
Power, like intimidating. Like honestly, yeah, he's a very imposing figure. Like Sidious is very much like, I kind of hide my power. Like no one knows I'm a freaking Sith.
Yeah, no one knows my true strength.
It's a surprise, Like when you get to Jedi, like you've heard him say like, "Oh, I'm your like, come my apprentice to Darth Vader" and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like you don't really get the idea that like, oh, Sidious is like, the Emperor is a Sith. Like he's more powerful than Vader even.
Mm-hmm.
To an extent. You do. They're like, yeah. Right.
Yeah,
he'll snap his fingers and the neck will just like go.
But my thing is like they set up Snoke. Wow, Noke. They set up Snoke so well in this film. They set him up so well that I liked him so much, only for them to kill him in the same movie. Now there is a possibility that he may not be truly dead, and like I said, he might pull off a Darth Maul and come back.
There's a million ways, like in the expanded universe, I'm sure they could explain him coming back. Like.
But that upset me that they just kill him off like that, though, man.
It's another thing that's like, really, like, we get the conclusion to like Rey's like question, like, who are my parents? They're nobody. Like, I'm cool with that. But you set up like, who is Snow? Who is he? They literally said like in interviews and stuff like, he's someone you know already. I guess they're saving that for the next movie, but it's kind of moot at this point because he's already dead.
Look, I would give Disney
learning about someone as they're still alive and they're still threatening you.
I would give Disney and Lucasfilms a pat on the back if in the next movie he comes back and they explain everything and they're like, they only got us pissed just to reward us. They only got us pissed just to reward us in the 9th film.
I think he's dead. I think they'll explain his backstory a little bit.
Look, man, if he's truly dead, then I'm just pissed about that because it's like they had the potential to really have a really good, strong, imposing villain. They had an opportunity.
Like, honestly, it's very similar to that scene in Force Awakens with Rey and the mind control with the Jedi mind trick.
Yeah,
it's really cool and kind of funny actually.
Yeah,
makes sense. you wasted it all for a joke, you know? Snoke is narrating his own death, and it's hilarious. Like, it's really, really cool. Like, that's one of the most creative ways I've seen them kill off like a big bad before.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think about it, you're like, Finn and Rose's thing end up killing Phasma. We're that one villain there.
Which I don't think she's dead too.
Kylo and Rey's thing.
I don't think Phasma is dead too.
I think she might be.
Did you see the article where the cast kind of says that they don't think that she's dead?
Yeah, I saw that, but like, she's probably dead.
I don't think so.
Either way, like that arc ends up. If that's true, then their story is pointless entirely. Yeah. It's entirely pointless. Like, it literally, they could have been on the ship and just established their relationship then, and it would have been the same thing, because if Phasma comes back, then it's literally pointless. It is pointless.
Yeah, very pointless.
I cannot stress that enough.
Yeah.
But Rey and Kylo's story ends up killing Snoke, so who do you have left? You have Hux, who they made into a joke in this movie.
Don't even get me started about Hux. Like, Hux was annoying as hell. Such a waste. Such a waste.
In the last movie, like, Tarkin mixed with Space Hitler. And I'm like, cool.
Man, don't even compare Tarkin to Hux, man. Because
I know.
In the last movie, Hux was more intimidating. But now,
Snoke throws him around across the floor. Poe makes jokes at him. Kylo Ren makes jokes at him. Like, Hux is literally just a joke now. And
like, nobody respects Hux.
I like Donald Gleason as an actor. I love Ex Machina. You know, he's in that film with Oscar Isaac of all people. He's a really good actor.
Yeah, Donald Gleason. He's a nice dude. Like, when he's not being Hux, he's a really nice dude. But his character, I hate.
They turned him into a worm. First of all, he's basically just like Starscream. He's literally Starscream, or like Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings. Like, wormy character that does nothing. And we have two villains left, and the only one I really care about at this point is Kylo Ren, and even then it's like, it's just an angry toddler.
The thing is, I really like Kylo in this movie, though. They gave him some more. They gave him some more depth. They gave him a lot more depth in this movie.
If you think about him, like, we have this guy who's basically probably going to try to take control over from Kylo if he can, and like, that'll be a whole subplot maybe. But like, you also have Kylo Ren, who's like, he's kind of imposing, but at the same time, like, he's gonna die.
Yeah, I hope they do it though. But yeah, General Hux is such a waste, man.
In terms of quality, you know, it feels like, oh, Phasma and Hux die in this movie. All right, makes more sense. But then you'd have that comparison for the next film with in the next film, because it'd be the Emperor basically and Vader.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
Either way, like, you just don't have that strong. You don't have as strong as a cast of villains as you could have had for the next movie, which I understand, because you really, really loved about where this movie gets you is, I don't know what's going to happen in the next one. Like, you look at any Star Wars film, you watch any Star Wars film, you can pretty much tell what's going to happen by the end of the trilogy.
Yeah. This one leaves you with like, what the hell are they actually going to do from now?
To happen in the next film, that is beyond exciting for me. They took risks. None of them all like played out like the way they wanted to. You know, none of them are all worked out. But hey,
okay. What are one of the risks? One of the risks that you think? Well, list one of the risks.
Killing off Snoke, killing off Luke, bring back Yoda.
Yep.
Even establishing the possible relationship between Rose and Finn.
Yep.
There's a million things. Not killing off Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing that's kind of like, because I really like Carrie Fisher in this film, and I think I wish she was utilized more, because this is her final role. She does amazingly in it, but at the same time, it's like, we didn't really see that much of her.
But the thing is, too, is like, I mean, we can't say that how, you know, we wish they used her more, because at the time of them filming this, no one knew she was going to pass away.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure they had plans for her for the 9th film. You know what I'm saying?
They did. That's the thing. And here's the thing that sucks is, they're going to kill her off, and they're not going to bring her back by CGI.
No, they're not. They already said they're not going to do that.
They said that. Exactly. So what are they going to do? I guess she goes and retires. Like
They
the
might have
kind
to
of
do. They might have to do the thing that they did with Paul Walker in Fast and Furious, where he's dead in real life, but his character still lives, but he retired and moved to another place. So the character, the character still no, but they didn't do that. What I'm trying to say is like in the eighth, like for instance, in the eighth Fast and Furious film, they mentioned
they used his brow as a stand-in and did CGI on the face.
yeah, for the seventh film, but not for the eighth one. In the eighth one, they referenced him. They were like, okay, they referenced him, but they obviously we know he's not there. But they referenced him and was like, okay, he's somewhere else or whatever. But we're not gonna bring him back. So the character still lives, but we don't see them. We're not gonna see him ever again. But the character is still living.
I get that, but like same thing. Like here, it's like because it's not like Fast and Furious. It's not like this group of people are going on like some fun adventures, driving cars and stealing.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah,
this is a war. You just had the biggest loss of the saga so far, of the trilogy so far. If you just leave, that's your last general alive.
yeah.
The Resistance is literally leaderless except for Poe, who has, by the way, been demoted. So
yeah, but obviously he's going to get because you saw the leader. You saw how Leia looked at him towards the end, but she's like, "What are you looking at me for? Follow him." Like she's like looking. Okay, I'm willing to pass the baton on to him.
But like seriously, like what are they gonna do? Because like unless they get that help from like the Outer Rim, even then like don't think they're gonna do that far time jump because it'd be kind of pointless to have Rose be like hurt like Finn was, you know, if you're not gonna address that like in the next film. And since we established like Finn can get a lightsaber to the back and be fine within like literally like a day or so, Rose, as long as it gets to a bacta tank, like she'll be fine in like a day or so. So I don't think they're gonna do a time jump again. I think it's just gonna be the Millennium Falcon going to the Outer Rim, finding their friends, and then they're gonna.
No, they need to do a time jump because it would make
they have
Rey.
To, but they won't. They won't.
Because the thing is, look, okay, I will address this later on. I just want to get through the rest of my negatives first, because there are some things for possible plot points that I want to discuss, but I'll probably save it there so we don't get too confused. But my thing is, another thing I had, and tell me if you agree with me, but I felt like the transition between the scenes made the film feel a lot disjointed and out of place.
What do you mean?
Like, for instance, okay, well, this is more of a nitpicky thing, but I felt as if when what's classic about a Star Wars film when it comes to transitioning between scenes?
The wipes.
The screen wipes, right? What was good about the screen wipes is that you can have something crazy happen in one scene and then something very passive and calm and cool happening in another scene, but the screen wipe actually helps transition that in a more smooth way.
I saw a couple screen wipes though.
There was a couple, but not too much. The difference was because like Rogue One can get away without having any screen wipes at all because there was something crazy happening every scene, and it was all connected. Right, everything was connected in Rogue One.
We don't have diverging plot points. We don't have like multiple people going on multiple adventures. It's
exactly
straightforward. You have.
But the thing with this film is that like you had 1 minute you got a cool Yoda scene, whatever, and you just transition to this, and you just transition to this, and you just jumping back and forth, and you go back to Canto Bight, and you go to this, and you're like, and it's like, what the hell? Like, why is this jumping all over the place?
That has to do with pacing. It's just this film was not paced well. You have too many times where too many things are happening at once. You never get a good balance, you know. Except I think honestly in the beginning, cause it doesn't really diverge that much. Like once Finn and Rose go on their own thing, it's like all hell is loose. Like it's ridiculous because everything's just happening every time, and like we don't really know the timeline. You know, like it's kind of there, but it's not. It doesn't all add up, and the pacing's just not great in this film.
No,
it's very slow at certain parts, and it's very, very fast at parts where it should be slower. You know?
Yeah.
I felt like.
What did you feel? Wait, no, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I was just saying, like, I felt like if they took more time to, if they focused less on like the battle scenes, because like, you have literally an entire like, where it's like all our characters are coming back together, and like pretty much from when when the ships evacuate the big cruiser or the capital ship, right?
Yeah.
It's just nonstop action. You have Rey and Kylo. Um, you have Rose and Finn almost getting executed. You have, Poe and Leia escaping, albeit very slowly. And then right after that, it's done. You're immediately down on Crate, and there's like 2 minutes, 2 minutes before it kicks off again.
Mm-hmm.
You have like one quiet shot of Leia looking into the distance. They're coming, and then close the doors, and that's it. Like,
I gotta say though, that's one shot I actually really liked was her when they faced it at her.
we don't get like.
No, I'm just saying, like visually, like I want a picture of her of just her just looking out because it looked cool. It looked really nice.
Shot. But like, here's the thing: had we
with
gone
her little coat over her nose,
a little more time away from like the initial like escape to the planet,
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of time where it's just waiting in space while ships are getting shot around them, and like you see like Rose and Finn get into the big ship. But you don't take any time on Crate to like be like breathe, like the calm before the storm. It's coming, close the thing, we're going. Like, it needs to slow down. Specifically, like, it slows down during the battle, which is weird. Like, we have that scene, Leia in the battle while the battle's raging on outside. It's like, calm moment. Like, okay, that's kind of cool, but at the same time, shit is happening outdoors. You guys in here aren't doing anything. Do that stuff before the battle, Like, have the moment with Leia right before the battle kicks off, and then things are going really terribly. Like, Finn is hurt, Rose is hurt, Poe has to retreat. Like, Rey and Chewbacca are off doing their thing in the Millennium Falcon. We never see them again, and then like Luke is like, okay, you don't do that and then immediately go to it.
Yeah.
You establish it at the beginning, and then he's the last resort. Not like, hey, I'm here. Like,
oh my god, what did you think of There's a big thing I saw these people that are talking about BB-8, too much BB-8. How'd you feel about the BB-8 stuff? Did you care about that, or?
I was fine with it.
You're cool with it?
The Imperial version of him, I think that droid was stupid as all hell.
Yeah.
Major plot point. We just introduced him. What are you doing? Just have Phasma recognize them on the ship.
Yeah.
It's that much easier. She knows Finn's face. Like, it's a stupid droid that you just did because merchandising.
Yeah, merchandise. That's all they did it for.
That's merchandising.
Hey guys, look, we got a new Imperial BB unit.
Figures of 1,000,001 astromechs, like from Phantom Menace and the prequel trilogy, and they make mouse droid like action figures. They make like donk droid action figures.
Oh my god, there's so much emphasis on mouse droids for these two movies. Whew, so much.
There's protocol droids that we see like for a scene and then they're gone, and they have action figures. You could do the same thing here. He doesn't have to be a major plot point.
Look, they just wanted to do that because, like, hey, look, like, the Imperial, they're like, hey, man, the First Order has a BB unit now. Okay, cool.
Like Phasma's personal droid or something. Like, it doesn't have to be like, there they are, the rebel spies, go get them. Like, stupid droid. Like, you don't need that crap right now.
But droids aren't dumb, okay?
That one is.
Obviously, he wasn't dumb if he was able to get them to the breaker.
It just seems like really that's the way you're going with this. You're doing pretty good on how like people are like how plot points are coming together. In terms of the writing, it's pretty well done. It's just like that one moment specifically, like that's stupid. It's just really stupid. It's not even like, oh, it has a point. No, it's just there because marketing.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it's there for. That's all it's there for. Is just for plain up straight up marketing. I think I got one more thing for my main negatives. Underutilization of Chewie. and making him Rey's personal chauffeur.
Yeah.
I was like, you got Chewie, like, use him. You know?
Use him. He's there. He's literally there. Like, we see how many scenes of Chewie really like that matter?
3 or 2.
No, I'd say like 3, because you have the scene where he talks to Luke, which I enjoyed. I know you don't, but
Yeah.
I thought it was well done enough. I thought it should have been Rey who knocked down the door instead, but
Could have been, yeah. I'm like, how the hell was Chewie there the whole time, or did he just like walk up there? Because we do realize it was a long walk.
I think maybe she went. I think maybe she like went to back down to Chewie or something, or he's
Yeah, she probably went back down.
Well, I went back down. It's like, can you talk to your stupid asshole friend?
maybe you can get to him.
Then you have the scene with him eating a porg, which isn't
that what I thought it was.
All.
I thought it was hilarious,
funny,
though.
But
they
not
just did it. They just did it, of
necessary.
course, because they wanted, of course, merchandising, man. Like, I want a porg now.
Like, that's funny. Like, it's a funny joke.
I want a porg. I thought
get
Chewie interacting with the porgs were funny.
Yeah, it's funny, but like at the end, in the end game, you could cut that scene out and nothing would be lost from the film.
Yeah.
That's what makes a scene. It adds something to the story that can't be taken away.
That scene was just purely added just for like, hey kids, go beg your parents for porgs for Christmas.
Last thing you get of Chewie really that of importance is him flying the Falcon.
Yeah.
At the end, where they disappear for 10 minutes.
Yep.
And here's the thing about that. It's really kind of dumb, honestly. In Force Awakens, that it basically takes 2 people to fly the ship, because it's hard enough to fly like an X-wing, like by yourself. Like, this ship is huge and it has like a crap ton of buttons you have to push and switches you have to flick to do all these things. Chewie just flies it by himself while Rey shoots.
You're right.
Like, you establish the fact that Rey is going to be Chewie's co-pilot, and then she never flies the ship with him.
Mm-hmm.
You
She's
have
just like
this thing. You shut up in the last.
Chewie's like Rey's personal Uber driver, man. Like, that's just all it is.
Basically, like,
yeah.
he drops her off at Octu. He picks her up and they go to Snoke's thing, drops
He's
her
like,
off.
Call the Uber, call Uber and put in my special promo code #Chewie. Like,
then she drops her
for 10% off
with the rocks, and then he picks her up again and they fly away.
he's like for 10% off on your next trip. Type in Chewie. Oh my god!
I'm gonna kick you off. What's happening?
Oh god!
I don't get that.
Yeah, I'm like, hey man, look, Chewie's just gonna be Albert for this whole movie. It's pretty. I mean, Alfred.
At least Alfred does something. He's like on technical support or something.
Well, yeah.
Chewie just flies the ship once. That matters. He flies it once. Because guess what? He didn't even have to drop Rey off. She probably could have. She probably could have sent the escape pod and flew it by herself. Like,
yeah.
It's not, it's so dumb. I don't know. It's like,
hey
what
man,
are you doing with
look,
Chewie?
Chewie's just trying to pay his rent. Okay, he's just trying to pay his rent.
There's no damn love in this movie. It's sad.
He's
I love
trying.
Chewie. Like,
I love him. The man is doing Uber Falcon. He's just trying to pay his rent. Like, look, here's what happened, right?
No,
the minute
the Lyft doesn't like Uber's business practices.
Lyft. Look, as soon as he dropped off Rey, he's like, "All right, Rey, I'll be back. I just gotta go pick up a couple of customers real quick. So let me just dip from the scene and go."
I go to Camping Light. I'm gonna go take them there, drop them off. They got a room for the weekend. Things are gonna get crazy. What happens in Canto Bight stays in Canto Bight. I'll be back in like a couple days. It's fine if I can go, all right? She's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm cool here. I'll get to Luke.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me like $50 for this drive real quick, and I'll be right back.
Bring home that milk money, shoot.
Bring home that milk money. We don't want to drink that milk that Luke was drinking on Act 2. Luke was drinking that stinky milk on Act 2. We don't want none of that.
Chewie wrong, Matthew. They done him so wrong.
Man, look, like I said, man is trying to drive Uber to get his rent, man. That's all it is, bro. Let bro live.
You know what actually kind of pisses me off though?
Yeah.
It really soured me at the end. You have the stupid kids in the movie, right?
Oh.
They're like, "Oh, help us! We're resistance." Like, okay, whatever. Like the thing about Rose and Finn's storyline is, at the very least, it flows naturally. Unlike
Yeah.
Poe and Leia and Holdo's storyline, which is they introduce conflict between each other because there's nothing that's really going on at the moment on the ship. It's but like their story flows very naturally. They all come together, they all culminate, all the three storylines culminate. Last shot you see is like it's everybody on the Falcon catching up, like for the first time ever, like Poe is meeting Rey, Rey and Finn like hug and embrace, and like Leia's there and they're all chilling and hang out. They give you a sense of hope, and then it's like those stupid kid again. Like, really?
But they showed it. But they showed it for a reason, though. Did you not see the kid use the Force
I
when he
saw
was
the
picking the
reason,
broom?
But here's the thing. That is, in the next film, it's pointless.
No, I don't think that's for the next film, dude. I don't think that's for the next film. I think that's to set up for Rian Johnson's sequel trilogy that he's trying to do. I think that's what that's for. No, honestly, I think that's what that's for. I think that's what that's for.
Are they trying to establish another Darth Vader kind of deal?
I don't know, dude.
Who is a slave? He's also Force sensitive. He looks up to the Jedi. Like, it's
I
all
don't
starting
know,
to come
dude.
together again. Are you going to tell the same story again in your new trilogy or the next film or whatever?
I don't know. I'm afraid to. I'm scared. Look, I'm gonna say this right now. I heard somebody say this, and I'm agreeing with them with it now. They were saying that Rian Johnson made J.J. Abrams' Force Awakens make J.J. Abrams look like a god, and I'm agreeing with them. I'm agreeing with them in this. Okay, a lot of people, like I told you, prior to going into Last Jedi, is that I didn't really fancy Force Awakens that much. Like, I was like, okay, I'm okay with it. It's not my favorite film. I'm okay with it. But now, after watching Last Jedi, I enjoy Force Awakens better.
Really? I'm the other way
Oh,
around.
heck yes. I enjoy it better because I think J.J. Abrams did a better job than Rian Johnson. I'm just going to say it. I think he...
Honestly, I feel like
he did.
The other way around. Like, I think Jedi, the reason I like it more, while, like, I guess Force Awakens is more consistent. Not more consistent. They don't introduce the whole Starkiller base thing till literally, like, the last third. That's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
At least with the other two Death Stars, or three, technically, if you count Rogue One, it's in there pretty much from end of first act.
But Rogue One was the same Death Star in A New Hope.
It's shown up 3 times since then.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Or it's shown up 3 times in total, the Death Star, or Death Star 1 and Death Star 2. Either way, in all 3 movies, you established that the Death Star is a threat within the
actually,
the
it
first
showed
act.
up 4 times. Revenge of the Sith.
That doesn't count. No,
It does. It's
part. No,
yes,
it doesn't
does.
count. Like, it
that
doesn't
was the
matter.
beginning of the construction.
No, I mean, like, I'm talking about as it being the big plot device.
Okay, well, yeah. You're right.
Like in New Hope, you have and they go off to Alderaan, and it's not there anymore. That's like the beginning of the second act, end of the first act.
Yeah.
In Return of the Jedi, after the my opinion, the most boring sequence in Star Wars history, the Jabba's palace stuff.
Oh.
Introduce the second Death Star and Endor, and they go off to there, and Luke goes back to Dagobah. So like, it's like it's introduced immediately, and even in Rogue One, like, reason why they're there, like they introduced that again in the first third when they go to Jeddah.
Yeah.
In literally in Force Awakens, they introduce it as they use it for the first time.
Yes.
You're doing it's not like it was an afterthought. They're like, oh, we don't really have a way to end this. Republic, and then they ended up on the thing. Like, it's weird because it's literally only in the last third. It's kind of like an afterthought. Like, they got Rey, they got they destroyed the New Republic. It's I don't know, like this and as Last Jedi. At the very least, in Last Jedi, you know who the threat is the entire way through.
That's fine. That is cool, man. But my thing is though, and look at it this way, man. J.J. Abrams, looking back at it now, executed a proper Star Wars story. Rian Johnson did not. Be real, man. From a writing perspective, man. Come on, man. You're a writer, man. You should know this. Kind of look at it, right?
They executed a typical Star Wars film.
But I rather have a typical Star Wars film. I rather have a typical Star Wars film.
No, I can't agree with that.
Nah,
I
man.
would much rather have a film that I have a ton of problems with, but actually tries new things and sets up something that I have no idea where it's going next, than a bland.
That's fine. I don't look. That is fine. Like them setting up something for something new. That is fine. That is perfect. That's a great way to end the film. But my thing is the overall. There's certain parts of this movie where the writing was just off. It was just off, and it just didn't make sense. And they didn't need to do certain things.
They're really just playing off your nostalgia to see this film.
They had to. Yeah, but he had to do. They had to do that though. They had to do that.
They don't.
You know why they had to do that for Force Awakens? Why it was important? Because if they brought back, keep in mind, we haven't seen a Star Wars movie since 2005, right?
That's not true.
Dude, we have not seen a live action film since 2005. Okay. We have not seen a live action film since 2005. So the thing is, the whole purpose of Force Awakens, hence the title, is literally just to reignite this whole world again. So they had to throw that nostalgia stuff in. They had to throw all that stuff in to get people who were original fans to continue to watch it. And then in this film, which Last Jedi, is when they're like, okay, you know what? We'll throw new things in here. We'll throw new stuff for the new guys and try to do something new. That's the only reason.
That's why I think it's better, because Force Awakens literally is just nostalgia concentrated down and written into a screenplay.
I don't know, dude. I really don't know, because I cannot.
It adds new things to it. It adds new things to it. It takes risks, and even though they don't always play off, and even though the writing is spotty at times, it works better because it sets up better. It tries more than Force Awakens did, I think.
I think I will know. You
have to admit that. At the very least, it tries more than Force Awakens did.
It does. Here's my thing. That's what I'm trying to say. With me, this one, I think, when it comes to this movie, Last Jedi, you got, for me personally, man, and this is just how I see it, man. I got 50-50 on it, because there's things that I think Rian Johnson did well with the story, because they do try new things. And my whole thing is, I was talking to my friend. It's like this. Last Jedi, the whole purpose of this movie is to set up for the new generation. This movie is to set up for the new generation of Star Wars fans. Okay, what they're trying to do is, because they're slowly getting rid of the original trilogy and the original cast members for a reason. Why? Because Star Wars 20, 30 years from now, they're still going to be making movies, and they're going to be like people like my kids who they're going to want to have it set up in a way where they're going to refer back to the Force Awakens instead of referring back to A New Hope. So it's like in 30 years from now, they're not going to want to have people to refer back to A New Hope every time a new Star Wars film comes out. They're going to want to set up new things to a point where they're going to have to refer back to like The Force Awakens and Last Jedi and the 9th film, so that way they can get their start. So basically, this new trilogy, how I see it, is like the kids, people like my kids and stuff in the future, they're going to have their Leia, they're going to have their own Han, they're going to have their own Luke in Rey, Finn, and Poe. And that's what I'm saying. But my thing is, I don't mind them taking risks, dude. I'm all for risk, and I'm all open about trying new things, because we have to evolve, and the whole purpose of a story is to evolve. But what I'm trying to say, when it comes to a Star Wars film, and that's where I think the disconnect comes within people, is that people who really hate this film are people who are still holding on to the original trilogy, and people who love this film are people that want to move on. So and people who are open to new things. And I think that's where the disconnect comes, because people are like, they're comparing it to the original. So that's why I'm saying I'm kind of in the middle. I really like certain things Rian Johnson did because I like the new things, some of the new things, the new characters, the new worlds. I like some of it, but also I'm still holding on to a lot of things. Like I want a Star Wars film, and this doesn't feel like it didn't feel like a fully Star Wars film. I just feel like it feels empty. I wanted more. I just wanted them to do more. And I think, honestly, Dylan, all I can say for this is like when I see the 9th film, I think that's when I'm gonna have my full conclusion of The Last Jedi, because when I see how they end this trilogy is how I'm gonna say, okay, this is how I really feel about this movie.
You can't judge it until it ends.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm gonna reserve my full judgment until everything's over and I see how it actually played out.
Yeah, if they don't pull off the last film, or they don't carry on plot threads from this one, this film could fall apart. It really could. Like if they do the giant time jump and they don't play on the Rose being hurt thing, that whole plot line is pointless in itself. If you don't play on, if you do the time jump and then they have a full army again, you kind of lose the fact of like, oh, there's hope. Like now they just have their people back. Like this film, while it does have its problems, I think we'll end up having more problems with it being whatever they call the next film.
Yeah.
Because there are conflicting plot points in the story. You can't, unlike The Force Awakens, they ended it in a way. I gotta say that's a lot better than they ended this film, because they ended in a way where you have two things going on. Actually three. You have three things. You have, Kylo Ren. Did he survive? We find out yes. You have Rey going to Luke. Okay. And you have Finn. What's gonna happen to him next? Where's his next step? Those are the three things. And in The Last Jedi, they play every single one of those out, and it works. However, at the end of Last Jedi, we have what's gonna happen to the Resistance? Are the First Order defeated, or are they or do they still have left? You have what's going to happen to Rose and Finn. You have what's going to happen to Finn and Rey. You have what's going to happen between Finn and Rey and Kylo. Is Phasma still alive? They leave too many questions open, and that's where I think this film has a lot of its problems. It doesn't all end in a nice, clean bundle. I get that. That makes sense. But if you compare it again to everyone's comparing it to Empire. Empire ends. You have what's gonna happen in the next movie? Well, what do you think? They're gonna end it. They're gonna fight. Darth Vader and Luke are gonna fight. And what happened to Han? How are they gonna get Han back?
Yeah.
You can answer those two questions easily. Force Awakens, you can answer the questions easily. Last Jedi, not so much. And then on top of that, you add the stupid kid in. It's like, why you him in there? There's too many things. I felt like this film tried too many. It tried to do too much at some points,
I felt as if they tried to combine what could have been in the 9th movie and put it in this movie as well.
Yeah, because they didn't want that comparison in the next movie to Return of the Jedi.
Well, of course. And but that's what I'm trying to. But that all adds up to what I'm trying to say, though. Like the mess and the emptiness and the disconnect, and that's what I'm getting at.
I just think it comes down to this. Of course, if they did this film a different way, say instead of focusing mostly on the Resistance fighters and the Finn and Rose plot, had you grouped all the Resistance fighters being chased throughout the galaxy by the First Order and given more time to Snoke and Kylo, and while having the Rey and Luke thing still going on, if had those three plots, then I think that film would have been a lot stronger.
Maybe.
Honestly, would, because then you would also be satisfied if Snoke died at the end, having known more about him than you do now.
I would have been more satisfied if. But I would have been more satisfied if he died in battle.
That's fine. I don't care about that.
No, I care highly about that. That's just me. You know what I'm saying?
But in the end, the reason I think this is a better film than Force Awakens, problems and all, is it's kind of like what Yoda says in the movie, about failure.
Yeah.
Failure is sometimes the best teacher. And I think what they learned from this film, taking the risks that they did, will ultimately end up better for the trilogy, the safe beginning that was The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big reason, because I've been clamoring for them to do a new take on a Star Wars story, just a new Star Wars story in general. Frickin' time. In Rebels, they play it extremely safe. It's basically New Jedi. It's the same kind of shtick. Like, they're all gonna die at the end, whatever, because no characters in the extended universe can live if they're not in the movies afterwards. In Battlefront 2, guess what? All the characters you introduced, and
no spoilers for Battlefront 2. No spoilers.
Whoops. Came out this week, people. Sorry.
I didn't hear it. No spoilers for Battlefront 2. Because I still want to play it.
But the thing about those two stories, like, not only do all the characters like go away, like, it's just the typical Star Wars story. Again, 3 Star Wars stories, pretty much, or even the same one most of the time.
Yeah.
Elite Last Jedi is like, hey, they don't really work out that well, but we're trying.
Hey, but the Star Wars Old Republic fan movie was pretty dope as hell.
No, what now?
The Star Wars Old Republic fan movie was short.
And it's not put out by Lucasfilm or.
Yeah, but it was dope as hell though. It was lit.
Still, it's not canon, and if it's
it was lit
canon,
though.
It doesn't count.
It don't matter. It was lit to me. I like how it looked. But
yeah, man, like,
I mean, anything. I mean, okay. Well, I think we're gonna talk about, like, just overall, try to find a final conclusion. But before we get to that, I want to get to my things that that I think need to be explained in this movie. Okay. And I'm gonna start with, I only wrote 4 points down, but right. What the hell was with that weird mirror scene?
I think that's basically just trying to show, like, kind of BSing here, to be honest. But I think basically, like, it's not her parents that are important.
Yeah.
Because the whole mirror thing is not like the big draw from the mirror thing is not seeing all the different rays, The last ray and what she sees. She has to get past herself essentially to see what the truth is, I think.
Okay.
She has to get past herself to see what the truth is. And the truth is her parents don't really matter. It's her that matters.
Got you. That is actually if that's what you think it is, then I can actually see that making sense.
If it's not, then, like,
I like your explanation though. I like your explanation though, because it makes sense.
I think it kind of does, but, like, at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It could be that, or it could be something completely. I could be completely off base. Like,
well, it better be something similar to what you said, because that makes poetic sense.
Makes too much sense.
It makes poetic sense. That makes a lot of sense.
No, so what else you got?
Yeah, another question I had too was, like, is the link that Snoke made between Kylo and Rey permanent? Because remember, even after he died, they still had a link.
Here's the thing. I think it's probably going to be less of the physical link anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like Return of the Jedi, like Luke senses Vader on the ship and Vader senses Luke on the shuttle.
Yeah.
You can kind of feel each other's feelings a little bit.
Son.
I don't think it's going to be like, hey, let's touch hands again. That was weird. Like, touch hands, see each other's future. Like,
yeah, that was really super mystical.
That was confusing. But, like, I think it's going to be less of that, and I think it's going to be more just, like, mental. Like, oh, I kind of like how Leia was when Han died, kind of thing,
yeah.
They sense each other in the Force, but it's not going to be like, we're having conversations with each other. That's just weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What else you got?
Well, this one, none of us can really answer. Who is Snoke? We didn't get that. Yeah. It's still unexplained.
I'm telling you, man, had they cut out the Finn and Rose plot and had them doing stuff on the ship instead. You didn't have to have conflict then between Holdo and Poe. You could have just had like Finn and Rose like trying to fix the ship or trying to solve solutions with Poe, like as there's escaping or whatever. And then you could have focused on Kylo and Hux and Snoke and even Phasma if you really want to. The First Order's perspective of the whole thing, because you already established like Kylo's doing his own stuff while Rey is getting trained. So you might as well just like delve deeper into that, like have the parallels literally just be like actual parallels, you know, instead of just being like, oh, we'll imply the parallels for Kylo, but we'll actually show you the parallels for Rey. Like it works, but like not as well as it could have. And if we got that, I think we would have been more satisfied with Snoke's death, and we would have learned more about the character. But now it's going to be probably it's going to be related to like just a passing conversation, if that even.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done the whole typical villain backstory route, where it's like a long time ago, when I was something blah 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 blah. I would have been more satisfied with that, you know.
Stereotypical, but like as we've seen, you guys have some creative thoughts, like with the way they kill off Snoke. You could have some creative ways to introduce him, you know.
Yeah, but like I said, I believe I don't think he's really dead, man. I hope he's not. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many ways they can explain it, though.
Kylo to be the bad guy of this trilogy.
Well, maybe. Then why set up Snoke in the first place? You know,
just to throw you off the scent. I think to maybe give you the idea. I think honestly, he was just put in play to give you the idea that like, hey, maybe we could get Kylo on the good side. You know, like.
But then they don't utilize it. So then, what's the whole point of even trying it in the first place?
They do utilize that. Kylo doesn't turn good. You know, they kind of use it. That's the twist.
Now, at least,
it's not a great twist, but it is a twist, and I think that's what they're going for essentially.
Yeah.
Just like from Force Awakens to this film, and even in this film, it's like, will he turn good? Like if we kill Snoke and he's freed, will he turn good? Turns out no, he's going to be the bad guy, and I think that parallels Rey's journey parallel with Kylo parallels that of Luke with Vader. Luke can save Vader, and he does. Rey cannot, so she has to kill him. I think that's going to be the main conflict.
I still feel they may either do the route where she does save him, though.
I hope they don't. I hope that she straight up kills him.
Will like Disney do it?
Realizes like this can't happen. They can. I don't see why not.
Well, let's see if they do it. And another thing too is like my thing is Rey's story really true? I don't have an issue with how her story is. Like I'm accepting of her being a nobody now, because we talked about it earlier in this video. So I'm accepting of it. Like I'm fine with it now. Now that we talked about it, I'm okay with it. But my thing is like,
honestly, I don't.
My thing is the reason why, and we talked about it before, but I'm just explaining it for the viewers so they can hear it. We kind of talked about it before the stream, but the reason, guys, why I say is Rey's story even really true, because the thing is, when Rey and Kylo touched hands, they presumably saw each other's futures, but however, that was up to interpretation, because
and also like. Future seeing doesn't mean crap in Star Wars.
Exactly.
It really doesn't.
Exactly. Because look at Anakin when he saw how Padme dies. He thought he could avoid that, but it happened anyway. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just for the rest of them to understand where I'm going with this is, it's like this, guys. Rey saw that Kylo was going to turn, but it didn't happen the way she thought it was going to happen. And now, for instance, the question is, did Kylo see that Rey's parents were nobodies because in her heart she believed they were nobodies, and that's what he saw, or is it really true? And that's the real question.
I hope it is. I really do, because I feel like if they decide to enter in like the last film, they're like, okay, seriously though, this last film, it could really screw up the entire trilogy. It has to work.
Yep.
Or everything falls apart. But anyways, I hope they don't say that, because it cheapens Rey to a ridiculous extent, part of a legacy. And basically what that means is your individual accomplishments are no longer your own. They're your family's. And it's like, that sucks. That really sucks, especially for this character. because we have seen her grow. We have seen her go through some pretty traumatic crap. Like, if it's just all turns out to be like actually a Skywalker, like,
well, the theory's going around right now that she might be a Kenobi.
yeah, it's been going on for 2 years. I don't see it. I don't buy that for an instant.
Yeah,
It's just it cheapens the whole experience of Rey as a character. I think it'll end up souring people on the film.
I think initially,
Specifically that.
like for me, I don't know about you, but for me initially, I was. That's why I said disappointed in the beginning of the video. I said disappointed was because like they in the trailers they set it up as if Luke was gonna be training Rey, and we didn't see that. And then also, they also set up to a point where it's like she may be a Skywalker, she may be a Kenobi or something like that. And then they just dropped the bomb on you. Oh no, she's nobody. So initially, the first time I saw it, I was slightly disappointed. I was like, oh man, that kind of sucks. Like, okay, she's nobody. But then now, like I said, now seeing it again a couple times and talking to you about it and talking to other people about it, I'm now starting not to mind that she's a nobody because
What I just realized. This is not the first time they've established this though. Literally in like some of the trailers for Force Awakens and in the film itself, she literally says, "I'm a nobody."
Yeah, she
And
says
it
I
holds
come from
true.
yeah.
And I think that works. I think, and while yes, I would have liked to have seen like her be a Skywalker, that'd be kind of cool. But like, it's still this. It ended up being cliche. It ended up being the same story, and I'm glad they didn't go that way.
Yeah.
I get the disappointment because I'm with you there. I wish she had been a Skywalker. We didn't get to see the training we thought we would get to see. But this film is less about, like, even in the climax, it's less about physicality and more about mentality.
Yeah.
Kylo assumes Luke is there. He's not. We assume we're gonna see to be a Jedi by Luke. We don't.
We don't. Yeah.
We assume that
at least not in the way that we thought we were going to see it.
Or not. Yeah. Exactly. It's all about actually pretty good.
Yeah, and
it's all about tricking
plus
you.
two, like Yoda. I mean, Yoda says it. Yoda says it in the movie. He says, "There's nothing in those books that we can teach Rey that she doesn't already have. They're like she's already complete."
So that's the best scene in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like the Yoda, the Yoda scene.
And plus, I like the fact too that they use puppet Yoda. They use puppet Yoda instead of CGI Yoda.
Yeah. Honestly, this is a nitpick like you wouldn't believe, but this is the one thing that kind of like threw me off. They could have got a better puppet. Like, they could have just brought back.
But I still like the puppet though more than the CGI Yoda.
I like the puppet. Oh, thank God, yeah. But like the one other thing is like too dark. Yoda's more palish.
Yeah, I know, but they're trying to make the Force Ghost look more modern. They're trying to modernize the look. They were trying to modernize the look of the Force Ghost. I get that.
Yeah, I get that. It's fine. It's a little nitpick. I don't care really. It's just like something that stood out to me when I was watching the film.
Yeah, because initially when you first saw him on his face, you're like, Well, it's cool, but like he looks a little weird. But then the more they focus on it, you're like, okay, he actually looks pretty okay.
The less you care.
Yeah, the less you care.
You're like, oh, it's Yoda.
You're like, hey man, it's freaking Yoda. I don't care. It's Yoda. All of a sudden, I feel like eating quesadillas. It's just so. I don't know why I feel like eating quesadillas right now.
What? What?
I don't know. I have an appetite for quesadillas right now.
Honestly, the one overall for me about this film is like, this film really gave me an appreciation for Empire that I didn't have before.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. It really did. This was the first time in a film that immediately I liked Yoda. This was the first time in a film that like I looked back. I literally watched Empire today, video, after having seen Last Jedi, and I like it so much more now because it doesn't feel as slow as it did like maybe a year ago to me.
Got you. Yeah, I'm with you.
Has pacing issues.
But you know what's funny though? I liked Empire more last week when I watched it compared to when I seen it before, like last year or the year before. Because previously, like Empire was like an easily forgettable movie for me a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But now it's not. Now I care more about it.
Still not. I still like Return of the Jedi more, and especially New Hope. but I like it a lot more than I did. Like I really have a new appreciation for this film because the problems with Last Jedi draw like why Empire is so good.
Yeah.
Empire like I might not like Empire as much as I do New Hope, but it's a better film.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
No, it is. No, it is. It's just a better film. I mean, you like A New Hope because you just like A New Hope. You know, but critically, it is a better film.
Because like you get to see what could have gone wrong with Empire, and also seeing what could have gone better with Empire. You know.
Got you.
The interaction between, you know, Luke and Yoda, I think, is much better but you know, the pacing. You know, like here's the thing about Last Jedi, that's really weird. In Empire, our characters go split off. We don't see the rebels until the end of the movie again. Follow them, and it's like it's such a mistake because you look at Empire. It's like they went to the rendezvous, but they never really said where there was. Then you meet up with them again. It's like, well, like it doesn't really matter when you think about it. In this film, it's like entire time, and it's gonna be pretty boring. We're gonna establish these fake conflicts and things. It's like, okay, yeah, Empire did it right, and like that's kind of why I like it better now. Like,
got you on that. Yeah.
You see a lot of things, like a lot of ideas. They expand on like Luke going into the tree and fighting Darth Vader and turning out to be himself. You see a better version of that with Rey going into the hole and seeing like her vision. And at the same time, you see what's with Last Jedi that they could have done better. It was also an Empire, you know. There's so many parallels. I know they say like it's not Empire, but it basically is. Like they just have better things about each of one of them. Have certain things that are done better than the other, and it gives me a greater appreciation for both movies at the end of the day.
Yeah, and one thing one thing we forgot to talk about was Luke dying. Yeah, we have to talk about that. Yeah. Luke's death.
Luke dying.
Yep.
Okay. I was like, dying. What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Snoke dying? Leia dying? I mean, Carrie Fisher dying? Luke dying? Okay.
Because obviously, I think for me, like, I think he's just gonna return back as a Force ghost. Obviously. As a Force ghost. Yeah.
Here's the thing about that. Because he said "see you around, kid." Like, of course.
Yeah, of course. It was so cool. The ending was so cool and sad at the same time.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I really like the entirety of like Luke's story in Last Jedi. Besides the fact that he was on that island for 20 years. Like 10 years, okay. Like 20, really? Okay, that's kind of a bit excessive.
Yeah.
Well, I really like that story.
He did say he went there to die, though.
Yeah, but still, like, you could have given more time with Leia and Han.
Yeah.
Like, they've really only been, when you think about it, they've only been together for 15 years.
Yeah.
And, like, Luke spent 20 years afterwards. Like, more time than he spent with either of them on an island by himself with some nuns and porgs. It's like...
The nuns were cool, though.
No more time to the other side, so, like, it balanced out, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, right. Anyways, I really like the story because it just feels like progression of the character. You have a boy who is literally thrown, like pretty much forced into war, you know?
Yeah.
His family is killed and he has nowhere else to go. He's being hunted because his parents or his aunt and uncle like came across these two droids and just happened to buy them, you know? Like he's getting hunted and he's forced into a war. Kind of a backing, like he didn't like the Empire, but still, like I don't think he really when you think about it, he probably really didn't want to fight, you know.
He wanted to go to the academy.
He wanted to go to the academy, but he didn't want to like that's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of like when a soldier like when Pearl Harbor happened, you know, like everyone's like,
yeah,
sign up. Like it's kind of like that, and they're like, oh my god, this was a mistake. Like war is hell, like literally. But anyways, he's forced into war basically, and at this point, like so many things have gone wrong with his life. Where like his father has died, you know, like he's lost his family, he's lost his home, he's infamous across the galaxy, wants to kill him. Like the other half is like praising him.
Yep.
Like a damn god, and then on top of it, he tries to start up the Jedi again, and it just fails.
Yep.
And you understand, like, this guy is just tired, and he didn't want it anymore. Like, he didn't want the spotlight. He just wants to go away and, like, keep to himself. And it makes sense that, like, this character goes from that. And then you have a scene with Yoda, which basically inspires him, like, hey, like, failure is the best teacher. Like, get back out there. You can do it. It's like a pep talk. You have one of the most underlooked, because I haven't seen anybody talking about this, period. The most, besides the power aspect of it, you know. Oh, it's a new force power. It's not, but hey, like, it's fine, whatever. You don't hear people talking about the parallel between him doing this and Ben Kenobi. And it comes full circle, because here's the, but it's even better.
Wait, I didn't hear the last part. Him and Ben Kenobi doing what?
His sacrifice and Ben Kenobi's sacrifice.
Yeah.
It comes full circle.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, it does better than Ben Kenobi's sacrifice, because guess what? Ben Kenobi was basically he got cornered by Vader, and it was a second thought to hold him off, you know? So Luke and Han and Leia could get away. It wasn't his plan. He didn't plan to die there until he saw Luke and they're getting shot at, and he's like, I gotta make a decision here, and he lets Darth Vader cut him down.
Yep.
Luke, on the other hand, does this intentionally. This is his first thought. My friends, my family, they have to get away. Doing this because it's the last choice. It's because it's the right thing to do, and it's my own. It's like, it's not a second thought to him. It's instinct. Like, Ben did this for me. I can do one better. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, for so long, they'll literally have enough time to get away. Like, he saved the resistance, essentially. You know? It's kind of it's when you think about it that way. Like,
the ending I would say was the ending with Luke was just really, it was touching, it was good, it was a good way. I think, if, you know, to me, in my opinion, as upsetting as it is, you know, because, you know, characters can't live on forever. You know, people live,
like,
people die.
Right?
But my thing is like this, man. I think the way how he went was appropriate.
You know what's even better? Like, I had a problem with Han's death because it's like kind of comes out of nowhere almost.
Yeah.
Whatever. In this film, it's set up immediately. He's tired, and he's at peace. They say peace and says it all, and like literally in just 3 words: peace and purpose.
Yeah.
It's like he's wanted to die for so long. He's so tired of like this life that he's been living. Like, even on Octo 2, he's tired, you know?
Yeah.
He's just living to live, essentially. He's like, it's not he went there to die, but he didn't mean like, I'm gonna kill myself when I get there. It's like, he's not doing it for a reason, really. But he's finally at peace, and he had a purpose to it, and it wasn't a second thought, it wasn't a last option. This was his first thought. This is how I'm gonna do it. This is what I'm gonna do. Like, I'll say goodbye to I'll say my goodbyes, and then I'm, you know? So yeah. I think, honestly, this was the best way we could have sent Luke out, you know? Like, honestly.
Let's just talk about that, like, that touchback to A New Hope when he was on Tatooine looking at the horizon and the music.
Oh my god. Yeah, the best scene in Star Wars. And they're like, you know what we can do? I'm like,
let's
hell
do it
yeah.
again. Yep.
That scene in New Hope, to me, is the greatest piece of cinema in my mind, honestly. It really is. Like, it's the best scene in any movie to me.
It's so memorable. It's so memorable. It's so iconic. It's so...
The thing is, like, you look at it, and this boy has no idea what he's getting into, but he's looking at the stars with hope.
Yeah.
Like, his destiny is not here on the farm. It's out there somewhere. What this means when he sees
a farm with no grass.
It's a moisture farm. They farm water, okay? Come on, get with it.
But it's dry as hell.
What it means, him seeing that. Damn it, man! Him seeing the sunset one more time is it signifies that he found it. Like this was his destiny. Like he made it. It all comes full circle. You know, like that's when Luke Skywalker started right there in that moment.
And it started like that, and it ends.
Exactly, destiny, and now he has found it, and he's at peace.
Yeah, I thought that was done very well. I thought that was done. That's one of the things. That's one of the things I can praise. That's one of the things at that moment.
You could teach an entire film class on that. Like you could literally teach an entire film class on just scenes. It's mind blowing.
Yeah,
it's an incredible piece of cinema.
That scene and the Leia scene was just like my two favorite scenes of this entire film. That scene and the Leia scene were just I think that was proper fan service. It was just I loved it. I loved it.
It's not even fan service. It's well established. The one thing, honestly, about this film, like in terms of character, because like the characters are pretty. Problem I have with like the characters, not just the writing. Leia doesn't really. Like, we've established in so many books and so many things, and before the new canon came in. Like after Leia had kids, she's still active. In this, she's just not. She falls in that typical Hollywood like movie trope of like, you have kids, you got to take a side step back. You're still intelligent, sure, but you can't be part of the action. Like,
but she kind of was low key. Remember on Crate, she was in the front line with the gun shooting. I thought that was funny and cool.
That was kind of cool. Like, actually, I forgot about that.
Yeah, remember when they were shooting at Rey and Poe was like, "Hey, Rose, Finn, you're not dead. Where's my droid?" And the first question you ask, you're like, "Hey, Rose, Finn, you're not dead. Where's my droid?"
Where's my dead droid?
But she was out there shooting. She was like, she was out in the front fighting.
Inside, that was like the last thing, you know.
I thought it was cool. It's like but I think that scene showed that hey, Leia is, you know, she's getting old, she's getting this, but she still has fight left in her.
Here's the thing, I have one problem with that, and it's that, above being a mother, above being a princess, above being a diplomat, above being a general, above being Han's wife, above being Luke's sister, above any of that, Leia is a Jedi.
Yeah.
She is a damn Jedi.
They never established that.
Even in this new canon, they have specifically stated that like Luke was not Yoda's first choice for an apprentice. It was Leia. He would have taken Leia over Luke. Now that we can't see Carrie Fisher again, it feels kind of wasted to me. This appearance, you know, it kind of feels like she does literally almost nothing in The Force Awakens. Like, what the hell? And in this film, she does some stuff, but for most of it, she's in a coma.
Yeah.
Like, she just talks in most of this. Like, she doesn't. One scene where, like, you pretty much could have cut it out, and, like, the ending would have been the same, you know?
Well, they wouldn't have cut it out because, you know, what happened, of course. They want to put as much Carrie they could in this movie.
I know. But, like, you know when, like, they're locked in the bridge, and when they're locked in the bridge, like Finn or Poe locks them in the bridge, and they're cutting through the door, and then Carrie comes in or Leia comes in and stuns them. If it was Leia cutting it down with her lightsaber, the door opens, she's standing with her lightsaber, she's like, Leia, and then she stuns him then.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool. Not only that, we could have had a legit standoff between in the next movie, or even this one to an extent, you know?
Yeah.
Or like if they backed her into a corner like they did like on Crate, imagine if it was Leia coming through that door instead of Luke, like ready to fight.
That
or even just
cool.
Like you could have character, and it really sucks that because of Carrie Fisher's death. You know, it's really a shame because we're finally established. Like you get hints of it in Empire, you get hints of it at Jedi, like she has Force abilities, and this one. Like in Force Awakens, like she feels Han die, and this one she straight up like uses the Force, that to its full potential because of her untimely death, and I think that's really, really sad to me. Like we're finally getting there. Like Leia, in my mind, above anything else, she is a Jedi.
Yeah.
And something terrible happened in the real world. And
I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool that her daughter got to act with her in this film.
That was really cool. I think, yeah. I mean, that I think honestly in the next film she's probably going to be the one to announce that either General Organa has retired or has passed away or something along those lines.
That would be super super touching. I don't know.
Yeah.
One thing I want to, just before we close off the video, because we're approaching 2-hour mark, which I thought we were gonna go. One thing I noticed, which leads me to be excited for the future of this franchise, is because Rey took the Jedi texts. Okay, she took the books with her. She did. You didn't notice it? Yeah, there was I made sure, because here's what happened in my first viewing. I was like, okay, she didn't take it, and then when I was like, maybe I'm tripping, and then on the second time I saw it, I made sure I paid attention, and I remember when she went on when she was about to go into the First Order destroyer, she was telling Chewie the message. She closes a drawer, and then at the end, when we see Finn go open a drawer to get that code out, the drawer, he puts it over Rose, and I saw the Jedi books, and I'm like, okay, so Rey took the books with her, which means she can actually learn the ways of the Jedi. She can actually learn more about the Force, learn more about the Jedi code, and then she can actually translate it and start a whole new Jedi order.
Yeah.
She can learn alongside with Luke, training her Force Ghost style, and she can be super beast. And she can actually learn. She can actually be legitimately a Jedi.
You know, it'd be really cool because we didn't get to see it in Return of the Jedi, even though they had the deleted scene of Luke building his lightsaber.
Yeah.
Beginning of whatever they call the next one, Episode 9, like with the books in hand, like going to like Ilum or like some other planet looking for like a crystal.
Yeah, looking for the kyber crystals.
And then ignites it, and like maybe like the credits hit or something, or. They don't do that, but like
it would be so cool. Like you're saying, man, it would be so dope to see Rey just reading through the Jedi books. Okay, kyber crystals. I have to find me some kyber crystals, and she's looking for the kyber crystal, and she's trying to learn how to make it.
Like she's going on her own journey, and then like she gets back to the base and like, did you find it? Did you get it? And then she takes out the lightsaber from behind her back and ignites it. Everyone, like that would
be so cool. I would love Rey forever if they do that.
Yeah, like they cut it out of Return of the Jedi. It was still in deleted scenes. Like it'd be cool if they kind of like hinted, like gave like a little nod to like that in like this next movie. I know they want to stray as far away from like the original trilogy, but like that kind of stuff is kind of cool, you know?
It's cool though.
It's not like a major story plot, but it's like you're just showing us that like, so you don't have that complaint of like, well, how did she get the lightsaber? How did she train herself? How did she know how to use the Force like that? You show it to the person, show, don't tell, and it works a lot better.
Yeah.
It's kind of the whole point of movies, you know?
Yep. I like the fact when I watch it on when I watch the movie again the fourth time, I might do like a top 5 things you might have missed in Star Wars, because you probably didn't notice this, but did you notice did you notice in top 5 things you didn't notice in Last Jedi? Did you notice which is kind of a plot hole, but still cool. Did you notice what happened when in the beginning when they got to Octu in Luke's crate, in Luke's hut? Did you notice what was there?
It was online. It was the lightsaber. All right.
Yeah, it was like a red kyber crystal for Darth Vader around a necklace.
Honestly, was kind of cooler. The dice.
You know what's funny? I didn't even know where I'd never seen that.
Really?
No,
I'd never seen them, but I instantly knew what it was. It's Sabacc dice.
Okay.
And what Sabacc is the game that Han and Lando played, in which Lando lost the Falcon to Han.
Okay,
and
got
I
you.
I looked it up to confirm to confirm what I said or what I was thinking, and I was right. It's Sabacc dice, like, and those are the ones that he won the Millennium Falcon with.
Got you. That's cool. That's even really cooler. Yeah.
Hopefully Solo, the reason we see Lando in it is because, like, it'd be cool if like we show like Han the Falcon from Lando, and that's like their first, like that's Han and Chewie's like first adventure on the Falcon. Like that'd be so cool. Even if Lando's not in it for that much, like just seeing him in the opening scene, like losing the Falcon to Han. Like in a Sabacc game.
Yep.
That'd be badass.
And the Han Solo film is coming out in May. We got a few more months.
Coming out in May. Wow.
People are saying that he may be better than a lot of other Star Wars films. I'm just interested to see what they do.
I'm interested, but I doubt it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm only there for Donald Glover, man.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Donald Glover,
but yeah, I'm excited for the future of.
Chewie. That's what.
Well, for Chewie, yeah, for Chewie, yeah.
For Chewie.
But the thing is, get some justice for Chewie, man. The thing is, man, it's like this. Because I saw the Jedi books on the Falcon at the end, is what has me excited for what they can do with Rey, and what that means for the rest of the Jedi's future in this new Disney Star Wars realm. What this can mean for the future of the Jedi in this new Disney Star Wars. And it's like, okay, I'm excited for this because I want to see her train. I want to see her reading the books. I want to see that. Even if they don't see it, I want to see them mentioning it.
The most exciting thing about this movie, or this coming movie, is the fact that speculate on. There's so much to guess about, you know. We don't know where this is going. We really don't. Basically, all we know is Kylo Ren's going to be the bad guy and Rey's going to be the protagonist, and that's it. We don't know if Resistance is really going to get back. If there's going to be a time jump or not, there's a million and one questions. Like I complained about them earlier because it doesn't make sense if the film decides to not do the time jump or do the time jump. Like, it can fall apart.
Yeah.
But just now, like purely speculating on it is Star Wars film, and I do mean new, where we don't know the ending. Like, even with Rogue One, we know all the characters are going to die because they're not in any of the sequels.
It needs to be good.
George Lucas's rule, which is stupid in my opinion.
It needs to be good.
Solo, we know Han Solo, Chewie, and Lando, the characters you care about, aren't going to die, and the Millennium Falcon's not going to blow up. End of those. We don't know the end of what's coming next.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. And I know there are so many things that could go wrong with this film, like legitimately could go wrong, that could ruin the trilogy. Not only ruin that film, but ruin the trilogy, ruin Last Jedi, even maybe ruin Force Awakens, if you really think about it. But just the possibility of something new, like purely new, a Star Wars story that hopefully doesn't follow any of the tropes that have been established in the past.
Yeah.
It so I can't put it to words.
Kylo Ren made a good statement in this film. He said, "Let the past die, kill it." It's so true, though.
Literally. That describe. You know what? I'm changing my answer from earlier from "it's all right" to that however many words that was.
Let the past die, kill it.
6 words.
Let the past die, kill it. Yeah. Just let the past die. I mean, that was some sound advice, though. Low key, that was some sound advice to both the writers and to Rey. Like, that was actually a good message to Rey, because he said, "Let the past die, kill it if you have to. That's the only way for you to become who you're truly meant to be." And that is so true for Rey. That is so true.
And especially
that is so true.
If my theory about the dark side hole, I don't know what to call it, the dark side hole. If my theory about that is true, then it really is like past. You have to forget about your parents and just focus on you, or you'll never become.
You'll never become reach your full potential.
Exactly.
And that's so true. Yeah. It's, I mean, like, therapy with Kylo Ren, like, he's like a therapy teacher, like he's teaching you something. Like Kylo Ren, he's like, "Welcome to your therapy session. I'm Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren is
let the past die."
That one professor you have in college who's really smart, but he's just an asshole all the time.
You mean Professor Snape from Hogwarts?
Really.
He's pretty much Snape.
Good at what he's talking about, but he's an asshole.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, this discussion has made me. Hopefully, if they go the route where they, because here's my thing. Like, this conversation has made me like Rey even more than I did going into this conversation. Because now I like her more, because it's like, okay, if you think about it this way, you have this thing where, okay, wait a minute, Rey we can actually validate the way how she is now, because she's already a skilled fighter before she even held a lightsaber. Even Snoke, even roast the mess out of Kylo Ren. Like, you got bested by a girl that hasn't even wielded a lightsaber. Like they acknowledge this. They acknowledge this stuff.
Never gonna pick that thing up again.
Yeah.
his ass.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Funny.
It's funny. He was he just roasted the mess out of him at that point. But
This conversation has made me honestly appreciate. It made me realize what I like about this film and what I don't, and appreciate it even more than I did.
yes, same here, man.
I can't wait to see it again. I really
because when I go watch it again this weekend with my cousin, it's gonna be a different experience for me because it's like you're gonna know what even though it's taken me 3 watches to get to this point. And my thing is, like I said, once we see the next movie, that will actually make me. I'll finally have my because now I know how I truly feel about The Force Awakens. For me, I like it. I like The Force Awakens a lot more than I did before. For me, that's just me. Because this film has made me like The Force Awakens more. Hopefully, maybe the 9th film, if it ends on a good note and it seals the deal and everything that happens gets explained and gets closed off nicely, then maybe I will like The Last Jedi way more than I do now. Because you see, the thing is, I'm still at the same point. Like, my grade for The Last Jedi hasn't changed. I'm still sitting at a 7. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. I was gonna say to close out this discussion.
Yeah.
Because we're past the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
What do you give this film? What do you rate it? How do you? What are your final thoughts on it?
Yeah, final thoughts for me, man. From like 1 to 10, I'm still sitting at a 7 because the movie is not horrible. It's still the same thing I'm saying. It's not horrible, but it doesn't warrant all the hate it's getting. And it's sitting to me. It's like an average. It's an okay film. It's an okay movie. It's not the best thing you'll ever see, and it's not the best Star Wars film you'll ever see. It's not.
No.
But it's watchable. I can tolerate it, and I can watch it more than once and still be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And from a number scale, I would probably give it a C+, a B-. That's where I'm sitting at.
I'd probably give it or like 7.5.
Yeah.
Because for me, honestly, this film lower because some of the plot points just don't end up anywhere, specifically the Finn and Rose thing.
Yeah.
And with DJ, like, that whole thing out. Especially with DJ, if you want to stop people from drawing parallels to Empire, you didn't need him in the film. He does nothing except sell them out, and even then, it doesn't really matter because they got captured anyways.
Yeah.
Like, it...
But he's the only one. He's the only one. He's the only one that wins in this situation. He got money, he got a free ship, and he dipped.
We don't see a resolution for him. There's no comeuppance and there's no redemption arc. So his character is literally pointless. Apparently, his name stands for "Don't Join," which is like. Actually, there's one other thing I want to talk about. In that same side plot, we hear him like. We have this whole discussion of like Rose saying like, oh, if you look closer, the First Order has its hands and everything. It's really terrible. And then we get on the ship and DJ's like, yeah, these people got rich selling off their First Order, but guess what? They also sell them to Resistance. And it doesn't work because guess what? The Resistance aren't the First Order. This is not any gray areas. The Resistance isn't trying to commit genocide or anything like that. They're literally just fighting the bad guys. Like, this is black and white.
Yeah. What DJ was trying to showcase in that point was that the people, the arms dealers, don't care who they're selling it to. They're only in it for profits.
But at the same time, he tries to introduce this point where it's like everyone in war is bad. When in this situation, that is absolutely not true.
Got you.
Clear good guys and clear bad guys. There's no one way about it.
Yeah.
Like, sure, there might be some good people in the First Order, but in the Resistance, we have literally seen no bad people to date.
Mm-hmm.
No reasoning behind that side plot had to be introduced. That little notion had to be put into the plot. It's stupid and dumb, but
yeah, because the Resistance is literally only trying to create peace for everyone.
Yeah, I guess you could argue the First Order is doing the same thing, but they're doing it through genocide.
Exactly.
Like World War II, there are gray areas for sure.
Mm-hmm.
In Star Wars, not really. Not in this trilogy. In the original trilogy, sure. In the prequel trilogy, definitely. In this one, hell no. This is black and white as you go. Bad guy, good guy. There are no in-betweens.
Yeah.
None. They try to say with Kylo Ren, but guess what? At the end of the film, he's a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the film, Rey, tempted by the dark side, still a good guy. This is black and white.
Yep.
Either way about it.
Yep.
Taking all that way, I give this film a 7.5 because it really does try new things, and it really does set up for a exciting future, and an exciting future where, you know, we won't be getting a typical Star Wars story, and that's incredible in itself. And I think the writing is there. Really, the stuff with Rey and Kylo and Luke,
Yeah.
cool, and even like the opening scene is mind blowing. It's just
I love it so much, man.
plot points, you know. The characters are all there for me. I like pretty much every single one of them, except like changed them for some reason.
All
to be
we
a
can,
joke.
all we can say, excluding the cheap and corny jokes aside, the cringy jokes aside,
But-
excluding like they had some cheap kind of jokey moments that like were like whatever, you know, they were there for kids, you know. But the thing is, you know, and that's fine, you know.
Yeah, but like,
The thing for me,
is,
let's just put it
in
this
my
way, man.
opinion, yeah,
You're
it's
saying?
one
Go
of the
ahead.
better written Star Wars films.
What you
You
said?
know, it really is. I said, in my opinion, this is one of the better written Star Wars films. It's just the best plot wise. It doesn't all come together in the end like it's
Yeah,
supposed
I mean that's the only
And that's
place.
what
Don't
really
that's the only place where I disagree. Is because I don't think it's the best written Star Wars film.
to. In terms of dialogue and the themes that they're tackling, I think it is.
Well,
It's just
dialogue, hell yeah, they're dialogue kings.
like, the plot points are just not there.
Dialogue and screenplay, hell yeah. But for the
Yeah.
plot, for the plot and the
plot's
writing
not there.
Okay. When you're talking about writing for like
I'm
dialogue
talking like,
wise.
specifically writing for characters.
Okay,
in-
well, yeah,
in my
yeah. Well,
sense.
well, that I can agree with you. Yeah, I can agree with you on that. But when it comes to the plot,
I
though,
think
mm-mm.
yeah, the themes are there too. Like
Yeah,
the theme of like finding yourself, and you know the gray areas of being like a Jedi, I guess, or Luke's dilemma. You know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
in terms of plot points, they're just not there. Like they're not intriguing. They don't make
Nah.
sense most of the time.
It's kind of boring.
The film is just paced horribly.
Yeah.
That's why I take 2.5 points. So
Yeah.
7.5. B. I give it like a B. I realize that's a C in reality. I give
In
it like
reality,
a
it's a C plus.
B. In reality, it's a C plus. Like that's a silly nothing. So, but like I give it a B. 7.5 doesn't add up. I don't care. Like
Yeah,
Go
I mean, like I said, it's you know,
wanna
it's
fight
still,
me?
it's
Come at
still,
me, bro.
it's the. Hey man, look, that's what's the beauty about this. It's all opinions, and you know, your opinion is you're entitled to that 100%. So that's just what it is, you know. And like I said, man, I'm with you on some of this stuff, man. You know, it's not my favorite Star Wars film, but my conclusion, guys, honestly, this Last Jedi is not my favorite Star Wars film, but I like the movie. I really liked the movie, and I liked some of the things. We didn't talk too much about the score in this video, Dylan.
It's better than better than Force Awakens.
Better than Force Awakens. I like I like the music that played during Finn and Rose's time. I love that theme, that new theme.
Honestly, for the
I like
first time, I really enjoyed like kind of like the Cantina music essentially when they're on Canto Bight.
Yeah, Canto Bight. Yeah.
It's better done than, in my opinion, than the Cantina music or Maz's Castle even.
Maz is canceled, but well, in Maz is canceled, they had the guys like the guy singing their reggae. That was funny though. It was funny though.
They had the steel drums in there, and they had like it was more mellow.
Well, I didn't mind
It felt
the
more
one
high
on
class, and I
in
kinda liked
Maz's
it.
Temple. I didn't mind that. I actually did like it, and of course, the original Cantina Band music. Don't touch it. I mean, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not a
iconic.
big fan of it. But, like it's iconic.
Oh,
I
I'm
get that.
a huge fan of it. I used to sing. I used to sing the mess out. I used to hum the mess out of it when I was a kid. I used to do it a lot. You know, it's cool.
But like
I liked it.
honestly, like the score is all right. My favorite song in the entire soundtrack was probably
I didn't hear you because you think
Let me look
if
it up on my
you
phone.
paused for like 2 seconds.
Oh, I said like I gotta look it up. My favorite song. You just gotta stall for me.
No. I was
probably
no.
Peace and Purpose, or I think the Sacred Jedi Text is my favorite one. But the battle
Yeah.
music is pretty good. The one thing that disappoints me is again like we don't really get that much new music in terms of like memorable stuff. Like
No. We get one.
no, I mean like if you
one really good
compare-
memorable theme that they use a lot throughout the film, and it's the music that plays whenever we see Rose and Finn.
I know, but I mean, here's the thing though. There's not a lot of like really memorable music in terms of like sequels. Pretty much every single film has its own sound. If you look at like the sequel trilogy, they sound pretty similar. You know,
Yeah.
Last Jedi is definitely better in terms of a score.
Yeah.
Because it is more powerful. It's more boom. Like the brass is definitely more there than it was in the last film, which I thought was kind of lacking. There's a lot of strings, but it's definitely more there. But there's nothing like iconic, you know.
I mean, it was just more because you see they made a new theme for Luke, that they introduced at the end of the Force Awakens soundtrack, which they use in this, which I like it a lot. Yeah. And pretty much what the soundtrack was, dude, in my opinion, was just that they took a lot of pre-existing themes that they used and reorchestrated it. And I actually like the way how they reorchestrated it. You know, because we had Yoda's theme that they used on Dagobah. We had Leia's theme that they used. They had Luke's original theme, and then we had the new one that they created for him. They had the Rose and Finn stuff. They had Rey's theme song. They had Kylo Ren's music. They actually even brought back the Sith music that they used for Palpatine when they were on Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. They actually brought that back for Snoke for a split second, which was cool. Then he was like, "Give me Skywalker."
Matthew, the Resistance theme, though, did you realize it's actually like a few notes off of what is it called? The droid army theme. You know,
I gotta re-listen to it.
But it's basically like only a few notes off, and I kind of noticed that this.
I never noticed that. Now I gotta check it out.
It's the same. It's like they changed the tone of it, and they changed a few notes at the end, but it's essentially the same melody. And no, I just wish they had done more with like new music. I get you have existing characters, therefore you play their themes, but done more in terms of like iconic music. There's no Duel of the Fates. There's no like Fight on Mustafar. I don't know what that song is called.
Well, there wasn't any need for a Duel of the Fates in this one because we didn't really have that moment.
There's no iconic themes that you can like really hum out loud besides the ones that you already know that they changed a little bit.
And the Finn and the Finn and Rose theme, because it's nice.
That's like the new one, but that's like it basically.
Yeah, that's the new one. Yeah, that's the only one. But of course, you have the touching one. Every time I hear Yoda's music when he's on Dagobah, every time I hear that, I always feel so happy inside because I like that so much. Yeah. The music they use for him, when he was lifting the X-wing out of the pond, so. I like it so much, but I mean overall I'm pretty satisfied with the score, man. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. How I feel about the score is how I feel about the movie.
Rogue One or Force Awakens.
Yeah, I like it better than Rogue One.
Like I think this score and this film are better than both of those. I think.
I hear you, man. I hear you. There's, like I said,
that's a debate for another time.
Yeah. There's things about, like I said, there's things about The Last Jedi that is better than The Force Awakens. But for me as a whole, I just think Force Awakens is a better Star Wars movie compared to Last Jedi. It's a better Star Wars movie because this movie was different. It tried new things. It's just different than your typical Star Wars film. That's why I say that. You know what I'm saying? Different can be good and it could be bad, just depending on your perspective. But yeah, like you said, that's just a conversation for another time, man. Guys, we're gonna end this video right here. If you watched all the way to the end, I don't know, maybe you had nothing to do or you were driving.
Give yourself a high five.
Give yourself a high five and a pat in the back. If you skipped through, that's okay as well. But thank you for making it to the end either way. We had a great discussion. We learned some new. Some of our perspectives may have changed in this discussion. We definitely learned some more about the film, and we're both excited to see it again. And that's the thing about this movie. We can criticize it, and we still love it.
Is like this kind of podcast, or even just us talking about Star Wars, please do not hesitate to let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the comment section, for sure.
I know Matthew is always filming, and I'm always happy to jump on when I can.
Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure to have Dylan on here, guys. So... like I said, let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. If you did, and if you didn't, you skipped through, that's cool. Thank you so much, and go out and watch The Last Jedi again and have fun and be open about things. And it's okay to hate certain parts of it, but you gotta commend the film for the thing it did right.
Try your best to not like or the other. Form your own opinion.
Yeah, form your own opinion. That's really important. in this.
Formula.
Like what you like and hate what you hate, but don't be mean to other people for opposing
Don't
opinions.
conform to either side because you feel like you have to choose one.
Yeah. Be real with yourself, and that's what's important.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Peace.
Peace. All right.